Ba-dum, ba-dum. Da-da-da-dum. Dum. Da-dum. Make this smaller. Oh boy. Gotta move my footrest into place. And I should probably send out something that says I'm streaming, because that's what good streamers do, guys. They let people know they're live. Reb NGK. God, I was about to say that's so cool, and then I just fucked it up. What's up, Mohammed? What's up, Guardian? Eh. Alright, that worked. Thank you, Anirban. What's up, Jason? What's up, Dragon Ash? Thank you. I'm glad you guys liked the episode. It was short, but I felt like there was enough content in there to qualify for an episode. The next two parts are much more fun. I'm actually disappointed I couldn't get the second part of this episode attached to this one. Just because I'm really excited that part, because it's a part that people are looking forward to. Golduck moving like Prime Vaughn. I'm so old. I don't know who Prime Vaughn is. Your dog isn't feeling well over the last 2 weeks. Found she had cancer. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Phantom Derek. Well, I'm glad I can make your day a little bit better with this. I will let you guys know the video is doing good. It's fucking we're at like 1100 views. What's up, K Superfan? What's up, Jason Turner? Nocturnal Donut. But yeah, no, over 1100 views right now, and it's only been what, 2 hours? Nearly 3 hours. But yes, I have been, this episode, man. This one took me a bit to write. I was really struggling to figure out what I was going to do on this part. And I came over the next hurdle of, the route in the game that I plan to go down on. Pause. The route I plan to have Ash travel through, doesn't exist in the anime. And there's no thing. So I just took an ocean background from the anime, made sure to erase stuff, and just drew the bridge on it myself. You know, that's why, you know, I created a background for once. What's up, Quiznos? I'm slightly surprised that Psyduck evolved as fast as it did, but it makes sense as the oldest Pokemon that Ash has that can evolve. So I will say this. I didn't go into this episode with Psyduck's gonna evolve. However, I always knew Psyduck was going to evolve, saving Ash in some way. If you watched my, I mean, I assume all you guys have, or most of you guys at least. If you watched my first ever Teams video, when I go over, Psyduck, or Golduck on part of Ash's team, I say it evolves in the Aerodactyl episode. But I really decided I didn't need to recreate that episode because I already got the Togepi egg to Brock, so I just had to find a new thing. And I generally don't go off levels when it comes to Pokemon. Like I'm not like, oh well, it should be around level 33 here. But I felt like Psyduck was at a high enough level at this point, and him and Tangle have been off doing whatever, you know, that Ash doesn't know about. And so I feel like he was at a moment where, you know, I also, I wanted to have that moment where Beedrill goes, now it's your turn, in the English dub of My Hero. I consider using the Japanese and stuff, but I thought the English would resonate better. Because that kind of loops back to when Ash saw Beedrill do that, but he had no idea what he said because he doesn't speak Pokemon. But this is Psyduck's memory. So Psyduck understands completely what Beedrill said. So now you guys can hear what was said because you're hearing it from Psyduck's perspective. So, what's up, Owen? Will we ever see Ash, Gary, and Green travel together for it? Plus Richie, maybe. Will we? So, y'all are very loyal, and I've done you a disservice. I know no one here is saying anything bad about it. I know no one thinks, but it's more for me. I'm disappointed I was not able to get the full 30-minute episode out. You know, I'm disappointed in myself because I know the moments I was lazy on where I could have worked. Not in a taking a break sense of that I was just being lazy sense when I could have put the time in to get a little bit more done. So I'll give you this. This isn't a spoiler. It's an idea. I'm not sure if I'm doing this, but there is a thought for myself that the Orange Islands arc is Green, Gary, and Ash all traveling together. Not saying it's happening. I already have an initial plan for it at the moment of who travels with Ash in Orange Islands. But that is an idea that I will possibly test out in some way before Orange Islands to see how I like them as a dynamic. But little spoiler ahead, kind of, maybe. What shiny Eevee do I like the most? Or Evolution. Probably, I don't have them all in front of me. Umbreon. Glaceon's isn't bad either, but Umbreon. I mean, it's like objectively the best one. You know, unless you're like one of the weird people who's like, I like lime green Espeon. It's so neat because I'm so different. I'm such a douche, man. How do you guys put up with me? I love how you managed to draw Golduck and Sylvan and body Psyduck. I always plan for, okay, another, what's up, Splatter Spark? What up, Inferno Style? I'm just seeing names as I go down here. But, fun fact, I thought yesterday was Saturday. I thought yesterday I had to get the video out, and I completed the video, and I was so budgeted on time, and I already had it, like, uploaded and set to Premiere. I didn't realize until I was about to set it to Premiere later that day that I realized it was Friday. So, fun fact, the Golduck sprite is the original artwork I used in my original Ash Teams video. So that's going to get updated with an actual drawn one in the style I use now. Well, like the line, I use a different line art color and it's like not as rendered. But I was so cut for time that I just used that one. Oh, wow. The chat is... How many people we got watching? 28? Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. 28? I'm a man. My voice is deep and subtle. Sexual. I don't know. What would you say the dynamic is between Gary and Green? Can't remember if those two interact outside of the episode 1. Gary is very much Green's handler. Like, he's very much the nagging mom to her of, like, don't do this dangerous thing. No, stop doing this dangerous thing. And Green is the one that gets Gary to be a bit more adventurous and try more dangerous stuff that he would otherwise spend 30 hours planning out in his head before he made a move. I like that there was foreshadowing that there's going to be a kind of tournament arc next episode. Maybe not next episode, because this entire... Keep in mind, this entire episode was supposed to be the travel to Fuchsia. Plus, we'll get into Fuchsia. So, the tournament would happen after the next episode. Not this upcoming one now. But yes, there will be a tournament arc. By the way, since you plan to give Ash Espeon anyways, maybe. Why not give him Eevee now since he doesn't get any of the OG starters? It'll be fun if he gets both starters. Maybe even Red's Mutant Eevee. I mean, who knows? Maybe Ash isn't getting an Eevee anymore, guys. Maybe I redid the Johto team a lot and I like them a lot better. Maybe Eevee's not even there. Who knows? Man, I fucking love Green's Chaos. Yeah, no, so Green wasn't a part of this episode originally. By the way, I'm so behind in the chat. You guys are nuts. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all your support. I love these parts of the streams where I have to keep up with the chat because you guys are going so hard. Green was not supposed to be in this episode. So one thing I always like to do is listen to you guys, where I'm not going to change plot points. Like when people suggest, I want Ash to get this Pokemon, Ash should get this Pokemon. I'm not going to say, you want it, so you got it, you know? But it's more of like, I'm keeping an eye on the comments. I'm keeping an eye on the live stream chats. One thing that I got from, people love Green. Love Green. She's a fan favorite character. So I saw the opportunity of like, oh, I could put Green in this episode? Why not? You know? And then she became an integral part of the episode. I could technically remove her from the episode and have the events play out the same, but it's more fun when she's there. So I wanted to introduce more Green. So you guys like Green? I introduced more Green. What's up, Spinal? Spinel? Spinal. I believe you said Ashley Cubone doesn't have a necessary sad backstory. Does that mean the skull she wears was her first victim? That's funny. I like that, Guardian. So what's up, Alex? There's an in-world explanation for Marowak heads and Cubone skulls, that is a little too, like, narrative, like, or lecturing to really put in anywhere. I might be able to get the line in. But basically, the way it works in my world is that when a baby Cubone is born, the skull around the Marowak's head is like, you know, there's a chemical in the body or a pheromone that's released that allows the skull of the Marowak mother to be detached. And she places it on her baby Cubone for protection. However, during the time period that a Marowak is regrowing its skull, because it's bone, it's like keratin, it's like kind of like deer antlers almost, she's very vulnerable to predators. So in urban folklore, you know, in ancient times, they, you know, man came up with the theory that Cubones were the skulls of their dead mothers because Marowaks would just be super vulnerable at those times, so they would easily get killed by predators. Which led to the theory that, like, you know, it's their dead skulls, their dead mom's skull. It's like, technically yes, but no. Oh my god, I missed so much chat. Ash Green, Nora Johnson, pretty cool. How far into writing are you in? Oh, well, I already have the next parts written and recorded. So I just have to edit the audio, which I'm doing today. I'm going to try to get those done. And then Monday, I'll begin editing the episodes because on Sundays, I'm always at my mom's house. So I don't, you know, I go and get some sun, hit up the pool. I live in Florida. It's sunny all the time. What fire type does Gary have? We'll see. Still praying Dash catch the Gyarados as a Lapras replacement. We'll see. I'm fighting the Hollow Knight Coliseum while watching the live. Hell yeah. Hello, dog. Just started watching stream. I just want to say the episode was amazing. I'm so excited for the next part. Thanks, Pika Boss. I'm excited to get it out. Since Green has Electabuzz, does it mean she was in Power Plant? What was she doing there? Well, Pokemon are really, they can be anywhere in the world. Some Pokemon, it doesn't make sense for them to be in certain locations, but she just found an Electabuzz in the wild. Or maybe an Elekid in the wild, because while I'm never going to address it, technically Elekid, Magby, Smoochum, they're like in the Kanto region. It's still a living, breathing world. I'm trying to contain everything to the gen they're in for the most part, but like a herd of like Electabuzz or something, there would be Elekids there, you know, and Electivires. But we're just never gonna kind of like address that, you know, maybe Elekids and Magbys because they're Gen 2, but you're never gonna see like an Electivire so far. Like, I'm trying to kind of keep everything contained to the gen I'm in, but also show off that it's a living, breathing world with references to other things. Like, let's say you saw Lance. I'm never gonna say Lance has a Mega Dragonite, but if you could see like a Mega Stone in his design somewhere, that would indicate to you like, oh, he has the Mega Stone for Mega Dragonite, but you're not gonna see Mega Dragonite before like Gen 6. Is Ash gonna catch a shiny in the story? Yes, in Johto. Why does green color Pokemon monsters? It's a term of affection. It means they're just so strong and awesome that they're not just Pokemon, they're monsters. Like, she thinks it sounds tough and cool. How many Pokemon will Ash catch in total? 8 to 10. 8 to 10, around there. By the way, don't take this bad, but I just feel like made the gym leaders too normal. Kanto being mad was kind of their charm, especially since it seems everyone avoided them except Ash. Hope Lane is crazy. Well, yeah, mostly because I'm not trying to write Looney Tunes Pokemon Kanto like the anime is. Like, I'm trying to show off that this is a living, breathing world that makes sense and there's rules and logic to it. So, like, the gym leaders are adults with responsibilities who take their job seriously and stuff. And sure, some of them are a little nuttier than others, but, like, you know, they're not cartoon villains. So that's why they're not as wacky, you know? Besides, you still got wacky in here. You got Green, mostly her. Ash is a douche. But, yeah, I'm not, you know, I want to turn a lot of the Kanto leaders into characters, not random bullshit. Green has 2 Pokemons Gary had in the original. She does. I hate a ship full of shivers because Ash did not tell people in town that about the Gassian Haunter took the trophy. The people in town think Team Rocket stole the trophy. Well, Ash is an asshole. Like, I'm not sure if you guys remember this, but in the Kanto League, there's a point during the league, Ash just goes out with Pikachu for food and leaves his injured Pokemon and hungry Pokemon with Brock to take care of. And that doesn't really give a shit. Like people forget the bad parts about Ash. Like, the where is a douche. When do you think Ash will finally learn to control Ninetales? In an episode. How would Paul feel about Green and your version of Gary? Would Green call Paul purple? No, she only calls Ash and Gary red and blue because they're childhood friends, and it kind of, the bit only works because of their encounter when they were kids. She doesn't call, like, random people colors. Paul would definitely be annoyed by Green, but he would at least respect her strength. Paul and Gary would possibly not, I don't want to say get along, but, like, they wouldn't hate each other. Not going to lie, Beedrill was going a hard episode. Hope he comes back, would be cool. Green team is 10 out of 10. Also just feel Green is tearing a bit on Mary Sue levels. Hope we see a bit more of a challenger. I mean, like, she's supposed to be a wild child. She's not really a Mary Sue, if I'm being honest. I mean, she's also a side character. You can't really be there's not really many side character Mary Sues, you know? But really, we just haven't seen enough of her to really do anything. The whole point is she's stronger than Ash, because Ash is dumb as fucking bricks. How strong is Golduck compared to Ash's other mons? That's a hard one. And I'll tell you why. Golduck probably clears Cubone pretty easily. Again, type advantage. Ninetales, it's a toss-up, because Ninetales got ferocity behind her. And Golduck's newly evolved, so it's kind of hard to say, because he's still not used to it. So it's a whatchamacallit? So it's kind of hard to say. Tangela, again, a toss-up, because Golduck really only has confusion to work on Tangela. Probably gets a win on Tangela. Pikachu probably takes down Golduck, but it's rough. It's like a close match. Like, it can go either way. It's a 50-50. So it's hard to say, you know. Like, because Pikachu can pull some strides bullshit. Though, Golduck might be stronger than Pikachu at this point. It's hard to say, because Golduck's been working harder than Pikachu has. What's up, Masoji? The image with Ash on top of Golduck reminds you of Green. Yeah, no, it's a reference to that. I literally went to the page that was used in and redrew that page. I used it as reference and redrew the Golduck from there. Even, like, the little water things. How strong is Green? Did she actually knock out all her Pokemon she got by... No, like, she, like... You know, she was, like, she's not, like, physically strong enough to, like, take down a wild Pokemon, but she's so unsettling, it throws them off enough for Bulbasaur to, like, go in and actually clear up work while she's kind of distraction. Like, the Mankey is not expecting the human trainer to try and put him in a full Nelson, allowing Bulbasaur to hit it with a Vine Whip. So, like, you know, at most, she's, like, cartoon strong, where it's, like, funny strong, but she's not, like, actually going to be able to, like, bench press an Onix or something. What's up, Rubens? Do I read fanfiction? Yes. Today is so shorter than I thought. Yeah, you know, I explained why in the episode. Ash can now have Mega Greninja. No, he can't. So when it comes to Pokemon that Ash catches but don't evolve in later generations, will they come back and evolve that generation, or a chance they evolve this generation? There won't be a chance Tangela evolves this generation. The closest Tangela would evolve is probably Hoenn or obviously Sinnoh. I'm not going to guarantee all come back and evolve. Some may evolve, some may not. It really depends on how I'm feeling there. If you regret not giving Ash a mom, would you be open to catching it later in the gen? For example, Ash catching a Kantomon and Hoenn when the Kanto remakes happen. Probably not. If only because the reason why I wouldn't use, like, when I think of the Pokemon that I regret not giving Ash, they filled a certain role on the team that is now taken over by another team member. The teams are very contained in my brains by each generation of their dynamic and how they all work together. So I can't just insert a random mon from Kanto that I wanted to use because it would mess up whatever dynamic I have going on there. Plus, I want to show off whatever the generation is. Like, the exception is, like, Gen 6, if I want to give Ash a Mega of a Pokemon that's from a previous generation, obviously. A lot of Kanto gymmers in the anime definitely need to throw a spectrum. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, they're fucking idiots. You know, they're not smart. Sabrina's literally turning people into dolls. Like, what the fuck are we doing? You know? Like, so it's like, you know, I mean, like, again, if you want crazy Kanto gym leaders, there's a whole anime of all that shit. I'm writing them to be characters. Don't do nicotine, kids. I'm talking Tangela will be able to use Tangrowth before Gen 4. Like the closest we'll get to be is Gen 3. What is this funny thing you've written Green to do? I'm gonna come back to that. I'm trying to think. Like how the evolutions have so far meaningful. Can't wait for Tangelas. Yeah, I want to like make the so I'm not gonna say where Gary is. Richie just beat Erica and is on his way down to Fuchsia. Yeah, he definitely wasn't harsh. People remember XY and DP or Sun and Moon Ash. Most people don't remember Kanto Ash. Like, well, here's the thing. Y'all are great. But people have the tendency to not like characters that don't like Ash, I've noticed. Not necessarily you guys, all part of my community. In the Pokemon fandom in general. Like, I remember when I debuted Erica and people were mad that she didn't want to necessarily battle Ash. Like, they thought she was mean to Ash or rude to... So I was like, guys... Ash is a douchebag. Fuck this kid. I would hate this kid if I had to deal with him. You know, so it's sort of like, you know, people don't remember the flaws of Ash Ketchum much. Yeah, only reason Ash got as far as he did in the new because of 4 fields of plot armor, basically. Tangela won't involve in Kanto. I'm gonna say that here. I find it funny that Green's Pokemon have very menacing personalities, and there's Ivysaur's vibing, wondering out. Yeah, Ivysaur's the normalest one. She's pretty chill. She's kind of the group mom, group leader. She keeps everyone in line. So actually, there is a theme for Green's team. I wanted to pick physically powerful and aggressive Pokemon. That's why she's got a Kingler. She almost had a Gyarados, but I was doing the Misty plotline, so I did Kingler. Arcanine. I mean, I established she had a Growlithe before. Primeape, Electabuzz, stuff like that. Oh, and someone asked before, how did Green... We're up to 38 viewers. Holy fuck. We're up to 38 viewers. Holy shit. God, my voice. I hate when it goes pitchy. Because I'm a girl. I love making fun of myself. I'm just going through puberty, guys, at 27. So how did Green beat Sabrina? A careful strategy. One, she used Arcanine's speed to keep up with Alakazam, and then Electabuzz used Flash to disorient the psychic types. And so between the two of them, they were able to take down Sabrina. If Ash had a 5v5, I would go Green's mopping up Ash. Like, Ninetales, Golduck, and, Ash's team will put up a good fight, but Green's just hyper-trained her Pokemon a lot better, and they're way more aggressive. Like, Ninetales has the perfect aggression to match them, but she doesn't listen to Ash, so she wouldn't really get very far. I find it funny in Green's Pokemon very... Oh, yeah, I read that. Curious why Green got Arcanine, not Gary. It really came down to the fact that when I did the original Green debut episode in Cerulean, I needed a way to track it. So I was like, why not give her a Growlithe to track the muck? And that's why she ended up with Arcanine. But it worked out in a full circle moment kind of way because I was like, oh, aggressive Pokemon or aggressive menacing Pokemon on her team. Physically strong Pokemon. So that's why. Will Green actually catch like an Articuno or something? No. You guys will see what I do with legendaries. You might not like it, but you'll see what I do with legendaries. Who's gonna be Ash's ace? Probably Ninetales, but I think Gold is a shot. So, I don't do aces. And I'll tell you why. Because I think when it comes to aces in the Pokemon series, people have a tend to hyper-focus on them, and they become the main character of the team. And it kind of leaves a lot of people in the wayside. So, like, there will always be a Pokemon that is the strongest on Ash's current team, but they won't be the ace. Anyone on the team can be the clutch person that wins that final battle. It will never, like, you're never going to look at it and be like, well, Ninetales and Golduck got to finish this up. It could be Tangela. It could be Cubone. It could be Pikachu, you know? Oh, Pikachu's in that kind of Golduck, Ninetales vein. So I generally don't do aces. There is a power ranking on them of who's strongest, who's weakest, but it's usually a lot closer unless someone is, like, has a gimmick that makes them stronger. Would a bit? Oh, Jesus Christ! I actually scrolled. Would abilities exist because Ninetale has drought and can do more stuff with Solar Beam? Abilities exist. I'm just not addressing them. I'll say Ninetales has Flash Fire. And that's how she can light herself on fire and be fine. That's not a spoiler. It's more of a thing because Ninetales, unlike a Pikachu, where I'm like, oh, what's his ability? Ninetales is pretty much sticking in Kanto, Orange Islands era, some Johto stuff, but like you're not gonna generally see her in Hoenn. Well, maybe. You know, I don't know what I'm doing there, but I'm gonna do something. Can Golduck control his psychic powers, or does he still need any training for that? Golduck's gonna need a little bit of training to kind of get on his feet because an evolution is disorienting. His powers have evolved with him. And so he's going to have to learn more control and learn more about himself in that regard. But it won't be like he needs the rest of the region. It kind of just needs some time to kind of get his bearings more than anything. He definitely is a fighter now, though. He is not headache machine. I need to smash my head. But the headache mechanic's still there. So it's a multiplier. It's no longer the activation requirement. How's my day been? It's been great. I got a new video up finally. I'm so excited to work on the next part. You guys have all been super great about it. I appreciate it. We got 42 viewers in here. I'm handsome as ever. Like, I'm ripped. You know, there's a Stegosaurus behind me up there. So, I'm doing fantastic. What's up, Brazosaur? What's up, Fire Sparks? You were the one who asked. Will you make Richie have a different team? Yes, he has a different team. I won't go into what it is, but you know he has a Charmeleon. You know he has a Pikachu. I've been using your OG ATRs in my Pokemon rewrite, currently on Sinnoh right now. Hell yeah, love to hear it. I feel bad for you in a slight way because I'm like, ooh, those teams can be a little rough. I wasn't as creative as I am now, but I'm glad, you know, I'm glad you're making use of them. I appreciate it. Oh, and if you guys, I saw this in the stream, but basically, if y'all are interested in making your own Pokemon rewrites, I don't know when we're doing it, but me and my buddy, Samurai Trainer Z, go check out his YouTube. He also does Pokemon rewrites, and he's the guy, one of the two guys that helps me bounce ideas for my own rewrite, and I do the same for his. So some of these plot points, you know, me and him collabed on coming up with some stuff. But we're gonna do a writing podcast on one of my Saturday streams, like usual, like, you know, 11 CST Saturday streams I usually hold, or maybe like a Friday. We're trying to figure out when. But we're gonna be going over Pokemon rewrites, how we do our process, like advice for people trying to get into Pokemon rewrites, like writing in general when you're trying to do all this stuff, like things to keep in mind to kind of make yourself stand out. So if you're interested in that, look forward to that. If a human was able to put a Primeape in a full Nelson, how would you react? I would probably be like, oh, it's Bruno of the Elite Four is probably one of the few people that can do that. I'd be like, oh, that's just Bruno. But if it's some random person, I'd be like, well, I'm avoiding that person. Bye. See ya. I'm out. I love the little world building thing of fossils being pretty tough, but had hard to raise because they were fucking feral. Yes. That is a big part. Like, cause I wanted to establish that fossil Pokemon, like, again, I'm trying to make this a world and the Pokemon species to matter. Not every Pokemon is just this happy-go-lucky, like a normal animal thing. Like, ancient Pokemon were feral as hell. It was kill or be killed, and there were no humans around. Like, modern day Pokemon have learned through evolving over time with humanity and growing that, like, you don't just go out and kill humans. Because if you're just killing humans on the path, then either other wild Pokemon who want to be left alone will come deal with you, or the league's gonna come and deal with you because you're just killing people indiscriminately. You know, it doesn't mean, like, if an idiot walks into an Abomasnow den and gets fucking iced, they're not gonna be like, we gotta take care of this Abomasnow. It's like, okay, dumb, he's dumb, you know, shit happens in nature, you know. But if an Abomasnow is going out to kill people, they're gonna deal with it. So fossil Pokemon are just really hard to use because they're primitive brains. It's like having a velociraptor in your room with you. So that's one thing I wanted to establish, which I will say kind of cuts off the door. It's what I'll say now. Ash isn't getting a fossil in Kanto. A fossil Kanto Pokemon would eat Ash. He doesn't have the respect of Pokemon enough to train that. He's just not mature enough for it. Why Beedrill can talk? So it's because when originally when you saw the original scene where Beedrill pointed at Psyduck and said some shit to it, that's Ash's perspective. Ash can't understand Pokemon, so he has no idea what Beedrill said. But when the flashback happens to Beedrill in this episode, it's from Psyduck's perspective. Psyduck can understand what Beedrill says. So it can, like, it's able to interpret Beedrill's words. And that's how the audience is able to understand them. Was Green only having 5 buns intentional? Yeah, like, she's spent a lot of time power training this group of Pokemon. And I know it seems like her team's ultra powerful. Keep in mind, like, she can catch an Electabuzz as an Electabuzz. You know, fishing Pokemon like a Kingler, you could fish up at higher levels, or you could fish up a Kingler or something, or a Krabby, and she could focus on getting it to evolve. Like, Ivysaur's not Venusaur yet, you know. And Arcanine requires a Firestone. Who else am I missing on her team? It was Ivysaur, Arcanine, Electabuzz, Kingler. I'm missing one. Why am I blanking on one of her team? Primeape. And Primeape she caught super early, and they evolves at like level 28, you know? So, like, she seems super strong. It's not that Green is super strong right now. Ash doesn't train. If Ash was smart and trained, he would have had a Golduck before, you know? Like, and he also just caught Cubone, you know? So Cubone's obviously not going to evolve right now. Like, it's not at the ready to evolve into a Marowak. So it's, like, less of Green's ahead and more like Ash's behind. He really makes up for it with dumb luck, weird Pokemon, and the fact that, like, Pikachu's a monster, Ninetales is a monster. He just got to get it to listen to him. Psyduck's the only one who's kind of like that normal Pokemon range. And Tangela's, you know, at the normal Pokemon range. He just doesn't evolve this gen. And besides, you guys kind of saw some of Green's flaws in this episode. When things don't go her way, she throws a fucking tantrum. She is not, like, she's very childish. She's very awesome. She's very childish, you know. And also, like, you've never seen Green actually fight anyone that's not Ash or, like, a wild Pokemon with Ash's help. So it's really hard to show how strong Green is when it's sort of like, you know, oh, she's not around any, if like I think Gary can beat Green right now pretty good. You know, Gary's a lot smarter than Green, and he trains hard. While Green is just naturally just bullheaded and is able to bulldoze her way through problems. So in terms of ranking right now, it's Gary, Green, Ash. I forgot Ash's name. So what do you think about my idea for having Ash get Paul Magmar? I thought that was interesting. You know, I'm going to take a hard look at every team before I begin a new gen and make the final adjustments, so I don't just make Pokemon changes on the fly like I did this generation. But I'll consider it. I already have a Sinnoh team in mind, but we'll see. We don't know, because I already have a story plan for Sinnoh that differs from the anime. I really like the way you make the character arcs connect with each other, like Misty having trouble causing Psyduck to evolve just to make the world feel alive and independent of Ash. 100%. Like, we're following Ash Ketchum, but Ash Ketchum is not the center of the world. Everyone else has their own stories and adventures. The world's moving. Like, we saw in the Celadon City, Team Rocket was handled by Agatha. You know, like, Ash didn't have to go bust in because he's the main character and he has to save the day. The League's isn't working right now in the background, dealing with a, like, terrorist threat to essentially to the region, to, like, a criminal organization. So, like, you know, Ash isn't the center of the world. He's just a guy going on a Pokemon adventure. We just follow his perspective. Like, this episode wasn't even about Ash. It was about Misty, you know? Ash was essentially a background guy. And, like, really, it wasn't even about Ash, even though his Pokemon evolved. It was about Psyduck finally stepping up in the role that Beedrill left him, you know? And it's, you know, it's kind of poetic in a way because Psyduck lost to fought Misty and was made fun of for his inability to swim. In this one, he turned into a form that can actually control his power and swim, you know? He went from a Pokemon that Misty hates about that Ash has, like, such as, Ash got lucky in the Misty fight. Beedrill was the exception, but Psyduck was lucky, you know? When she fought Pikachu, Ash got lucky that Pikachu decided, I'm annoyed by Misty and her Pokemon attacking me, so I'm just going to one-shot it, you know? Pikachu's just abnormally strong. Abnormally strong. So Misty's really, like, the only true fight that Ash beat her in is Beedrill versus Starmie, you know? So she's not wrong for her anger at Ash getting lucky, but Psyduck growing into a Pokemon that doesn't rely on luck anymore. You know, Psyduck's now strong. Like, you know, he's not just lucky anymore. Now he actually is smart. He's always been kind of smart, but now he's stepped up to the plate. Will Ash have new human traveling throughout the gens like maybe Jimmy from the specials? Ash is going to have new companions every generation. And maybe every sub-arc, like Orange Islands, like Battle Frontier. Who those are, we'll say. Is Brock gonna stay the entire time? I don't know. But I am changing them up. There's probably one female companion that's remained the same, I think. And it's because it's necessary for the plot. You know, the rest, though, are very superfluous. And the only reason I do that is because I realized I changed so much already. Why not go further? And also, I like writing new and interesting characters. I don't want to write, like, the same characters you just saw in the anime. I want to experiment. I want to branch out. I want to give you guys interesting stuff to watch. Like, if you want to watch the regular companions in Ash go on an adventure, go watch anime. I always say it all the time. Go watch the anime if you want things to be similar to the anime. I'm doing my own thing. Miles Morales. I know it will take years, but please relay Salon. I hate him more than Serena because he started the trend of rivals just being hype mon merchants rather than tactical genius, which Leon also did. I'm not replacing Alon, and I'll tell you why. Alon's going to be important to the story. He's going to have a role in the story. Will he be different? Yes and no. He's going to have similarities, but he's going to have difference, but he has an important role to the plot. And the reason I'm not getting rid of him, as much as I hate Charizard, and I'm not trying to dunk on Alon, like, I never try and use my hatred of certain things in the animes or certain hatreds of Pokemon like Charizard to bias my writing in a way. And that's because I've read a lot of fics in my day, fanfics, and I've read millions of, like, fics where, like, I'm going to bash on this character and make him an evil jerk. And it's like, that's not fun when you're trying to write something kind of good, you know? Like, it's fun to, like, be like, haha, I hate that guy and I don't want to watch him get shit on. But, like, it's not fun in the long term, you know? It's not good writing. So Alon's going to be written well. And Leon's going to be written well. So we're going to, like, you know, I'm just going to build them up in a better way than having two specials for Alon and then he's just in the story. Yeah, the gym battles in the original anime are just god-awful. I can't stand watching them. Will Giselle and Brock participate in the tournament? It's a short episode. Yes, they are. I'm feeling a little generous. I'm feeling a little spoilery. Not spoilery, but like certain things that normally I'd be like, oh, we'll see. I'm like, I'm happy to give you guys a little bit of information because you guys gave me a lot of grace with this episode. So, you know, enjoy this stream because we don't have a lot to like Q&A talk about. Like, it's a pretty contained episode. You know, it's more of like, oh, that's some cool stuff that happened. But like, I'm down to answer some more questions I wouldn't usually answer. You know, because also, I mean, like, I didn't want to put Golduck, by the way, in the title. That's just how the YouTube algorithm works. There's just nothing else in this episode that I could write down, like, that would get that attention if someone who wasn't subscribed to me was to watch. And I'm trying to get more subscribers. I'm trying to get more viewers, because the more people watching this, the more I'm motivated to write. When you actually watch the series, yeah, he's not perfect, but that's why you like him. He's flawed, he's charming, while also kind of annoying. Exactly, Joey Kent. Exactly. That's a good point right there. And it's something I don't say enough. So kudos for you for pointing that out. Just because I say Ash is an asshole and he's annoying and he does all this stuff doesn't mean I fucking, like, doesn't mean I don't love him. That's why I love him. That's why I don't like XY Ash, because I feel like he's too polished. I like flawed Ash because he's more fun to watch. Yeah, Ivysaur is way different because she was given to her and not caught in the wild. Like, Green picked a starter that's supposed to work with her trainer. So Ivysaur is the only thing holding that fucking team together. She's holding that down. She deserves a break. Is there any anime characters you would have preferred, where you preferred their manga counterparts while writing the ATR verse? Hard to say. Like, in some ways, I do like Blue, Adventures Blue and Adventures Green. I call Blue, Gary is blue. Leaf is green for me. I read the English dub. I don't care about Japan. You know, go be a weeb somewhere else. I say blue and I say green. It's like the people who say and stuff, instead of saying Goku, say, oh, Son Goku. Like, it's like, say, like, try to pronounce it the Japanese way, or Kuririn. I'm just like, you're annoying, and you know you are. That's a small rant. You guys put up with so much shit from me, man. I appreciate you guys. So many, by the way, I've talked to so many other content creators, and they're like, oh, I don't do this because my fans would get mad. I just say the wildest shit, and you guys are just like, that's Dollywop. And I appreciate about that. You guys know what I'm about. But I considered before I wrote Green into the series, I considered making her the thief, swindler kind of type. But I think the reason why I changed her is because I already had Gary kind of in the intelligence role, so I wanted someone in the naturally talented role, and that's Green. Like, Gary's also naturally talented to excess, but he studies a lot and works really hard for it. Doesn't mean Green doesn't work hard, but she has a lot of natural talent and understanding of Pokemon to go for that she, like, that she has going for her. Like, she would be able to handle Ninetales way better than Ash. She would be able to bond with it a lot quicker than Ash is able to. Ash has to really bust his ass to figure things out with his Pokemon, because he's not naturally inclined like that. He's not, like, naturally a savant. But I considered using the Green manga counterpart. But she has so much of her that is tied to her backstory that, well, yes, I could have done it without the backstory. I feel like it might have raised a lot of questions, and I feel like the backstory is very necessary for her to show off who she is. I mean, obviously, like, I like May, or I like Sapphire in the manga better. I like Platinum better than I like Dawn. I really like the manga counterparts more than I like their anime counterparts. Doesn't mean I dislike the anime counterparts. I love the anime counterparts, but I prefer the manga. Oh my god, I lost my place. I scrolled down a little bit because it didn't seem like that. Thank you, Rose. I saw your comment. I'm so behind. Oh my god, there's so many comments. The thing just accelerated. All right. I read that. I'm doing great, Braysaur. Is there any anime? Yeah, okay, I read that. Will there be justice for Porygon in your story? Maybe. I'm not against using Porygon in my story. Who's to say if I do? It depends on the writing and how things work out, but, like, Porygon's not forbidden. I know it's a little say, but will we be getting entirely new Gen 8 and 9 in the universe? Like, you write those, or are you still thinking about that? I'm still thinking about that. I have everything planned in a theoretical sense, in, like, kind of a note-taking sense of how things would wrap up kind of in Gen 6 and then a bit beyond that. And it's a very concise story. If I were to do I really hate Gen 8. I really don't like Paldea. I don't like Horizons. Like, I don't like the Paldea region or any of the starters. Like, I'm just not a Paldea fan. It was the one game I had to force myself to complete. That doesn't mean it's bad. Doesn't mean thing. For me, it feels kind of like a filler region. I'm just not interested in it, you know? So I'm probably not going to do Gen 8 stuff. If I do, I would start like a Horizons rewrite, you know? Though that's a lot harder because Ash is pretty easier to write and people are a lot more attached to the Horizons character. But by the time I get to that, Horizons will be so far back and complete already, I could get away with it, I think. But if I end around a Gen 6, 7, I'm not against introducing Gen 8 or 9 Pokemon in there. Or even Gen 10, 11, because, I mean, how far in the future is it going to take me to get to Gen 6? I mean, think about how we started, like, probably a year ago in this, and we're still in Kanto. Will you still keep Battle Bond Chestnut or use Mega Chestnut? I would not use Battle Bond. I really don't like Battle Bond. If I'm using Chestnut, I would use Mega Chestnut, but I'm not sure I'm using Chestnut. Though there is one new Mega that has been revealed that is on Ash's Kalos team as of right now. What move did Golduck use? So Golduck used... Okay, so here's two fun facts. One, the scene is meant to resemble Conker's Hockey from One Piece. The scene where Shanks saves Luffy when he's a kid. It's supposed to kind of mirror that. And be a reference to that. What Psyduck did was use Confusion to stun Gyarados. Used his psychic... Or even not even use Confusion, but use his general psychic power to, like, Conker's Hockey oppress, you know, Gyarados to keep him from moving, to stun him temporarily. Yes, Golduck has Conker's Hockey. Is definitely a Magic Girl Sailor Moon's recruit. Green is definitely a Magic Girl Sailor Moon's recruit. Yeah, but Green is the anime character, or is like the equivalent to the anime character of, like, people say, you know, are out here fighting for their lives, you know, or have a reason to fight. You know, they didn't say people, but I can't say the word they said. It's the... I'm not sure if you heard the meme, but, like, they're always asking me why I'm fighting, you know, or what I'm fighting for, but I just like to fight. Something along those lines. That's Green. She just fights because she likes to fight. It's me again from the Raichu stream. I want to ask, cannot remember Journey's vid, but please do give Charmander from the team the Mega when time comes. Megas need an episode. We'll see. Does Golduck know Surf now? Possibly. Golduck will have a new move because it evolved. I like to give it a little reward, but who's to say what the move is? Golducks are just naturally good swimmers. I take a lot from Dex entries as well. Like, I like to really dig into the biology of a Pokemon and how that helps them fight and move and do stuff. Like, not everything is restricted to move speed. Like, Golducks have psychic power, you know, so it can use that psychic power. It doesn't necessarily need to know psychic right now. It can just use psychic power. And it's a good swimmer, so it can swim. It doesn't need surf to, like, surf around, you know. I love what you did with Green character. She's a really fun addition. I'm glad. That's why I included her here, because I think you guys, I know you guys really like Green, so why not include more Green? It's the little things I like to do for you guys where I don't have my fans influence my story in the way of, like, writing decisions, but, like, if you guys like a character, why would I not include more of it? Especially if it only adds to the story instead of takes away. Someone should make a one-shot comic of this extra live stream lore of the series. I want to do, what's up, Sadixon? When I get enough regions underneath my belt, I want to start a short series or something where it's what's going on at the ranch, and you get to see Ash's Pokemon from different regions interact with each other and how they live on Professor Oak's ranch. Green is definitely giving the vibes that we got from that one Pokemon special where she tried to catch the player. Yeah, very like that. Actually, like Green having Prime and Kingler, two Pokemon originally owned Ash and Cannon. Yeah. I don't know what Golduck's new move is, if I'm being honest. I have to think about it first. Can you answer my question when you said you said go back to what's the funniest thing you've written Green so far? Probably her trying to fight Primeape. I haven't had too much. Probably the tackling Ash gag. Actually, that's my favorite. I think that's the funniest. What's up, Romanov? Ash forgot about Night tells me their joke about Gyarados and Misty. Kind of, yeah. I mean, like, here's the thing. Even if Ash is aware of that, Misty's not aware of that, so Ash is going to roast her anyways. He's a hypocrite. He's a total hypocrite. He'll do anything to dunk on someone like that, even if it is like, yeah, I do that too, but also, loser. Will Ash get pseudo-legendaries? Yes and no. Like, I'm not against him if he's caught them already. Like, he caught Gible, so he can't get Garchomp, and he caught Dragonite, so he can't get Dragonite. But, if they fit on the team, yeah, totally. I'm not against it. I wouldn't, like, even if he could use, I mean, I like the concept of Ash with the Dragonite on his Kanto team. I just don't think he's ready for that, even if I had the choice, the availability of it. Surge is definitely a Raichu Y user, because they're more aggressive. What will Gary's fire type be? You know, you guys asked that earlier, and I said I'm not going to reveal it. There's really only 3 fire types left. Gary has a Magmar. I mean, he's not having Rapidash, and I'm not giving him Flareon, so he has a Magmar. That's not a spoiler. Maybe Guardian. Maybe that's what I've been hinting at this entire time. I'm not going to say it out loud. But, maybe. You know, maybe Pikachu's had a series of, moments where it's absorbed a lot of electricity in the series that, you know, Surge's Raichu couldn't because it has static. So maybe. I'm so stupid. Yeah, no, it has Lightning Rod. I don't know why I'm trying to be like, yeah, Pikachu, I mean, like, you've seen, at this point, if you don't think, right, Pikachu has Lightning Rod, it has Lightning Rod. You know, it was able to absorb the electricity of Surges, it was able to absorb all the Pikachu power in the Viridian City episode, the Lightning Bolt. Yeah, like, it's got a lot of that stuff. Will Ash get any starters or fan favorite mons in the future gens? Still hoping for Licky Licky and Sinnoh. That's funny. If I give Ash a starter Pokemon, it's gonna be I'm not against it. I've said in the past he doesn't get any, but he might be. But if he does, it will be written in a way where it's so obvious that this isn't the ace, because starter Pokemon run the risk of becoming the aces of the region, or the fandom, or the audience will view them as the ace, especially if you introduce them as the base form early. Will Ash get starters? Possibly, you know, but we'll see how that kind of pans out. It really depends if they added the team dynamic or not. Fuck yeah, Stegosaurus, yeah. Will Giselle catch any new Pokemon? Yes. When? We'll see. We'll see when Giselle catches a new Pokemon. But I've always planned for her to catch new Pokemon. Maybe it's coming up soon. Maybe it's coming up soon. Also, I meant to ask, let's say Ash's Pikachu were to evolve. What version would you give him Mega Evolve? In my rewrite, Ash's... I would probably give Pikachu the Raichu Y. I don't hate X, but, like, I think if Pikachu was a Raichu, the way it fights fits more for the Y version. I read that. Yeah. Why did you decide to make the caveman Ash pose? Because it's funny. He also just finished his season of Scarviry, right? Oh yeah. I'm not sure if I missed a comment from you, PD, earlier. I don't know that. By the way, are all 150 Pokemon been discovered in your series, or is there a chance for Ash to make Gary mad by discovering a new mon? Basically, the entire world like, other than like mythical Pokemon, which are still rumored, like all the and maybe some like legendaries, which people think are more folklore or something, or they know they exist. Depends. Like the whole Pokedex that is updated to this point is in the world. I just won't reveal anything past a Gen 2 in Kanto. Yeah, shout out to Samurai. Of course, PD. Thank you, Rose. Would Green fling her own Pokemon for a battle strategy? Yes. If she had an Electrode, she would kick it, like a ball to send it at someone. If we aren't able to make videos, what's the best way to post our reacts in text format? Archive of our own or fanfiction.net. Those are two places which are good to post things. If you're trying to do like a fanfic series. Other Pokemon, yeah, Legendary normal, not the strong. Dolly, they are gods. Yeah, basically. Will Ash get a fossil Pokemon Sinnoh? We'll see. You know what's funny? I'm so behind in the chat when Masoji writes, Jesus Christ, that got dark, Lamau. I'm like, is that still the Marowak thing? I'm not sure what I said that's dark. Yeah, I like the OG Ash ADR team a lot. The funniest I had to write was for Ash's Jealous and Clingy Espeon. Yeah, that's a fun Pokemon. When will Ash get a fossil Pokemon? If he gets a fossil Pokemon. Who knows? Dolly, did you see the Steel Ball Runner trailer? Nope, no idea what that is. Up to God, Ash actually fights Giovanni. We'll see. I mean, he has to fight the 8th gym leader. What do you think that fits Ash more? Armors or Ceruledge, and why? I personally think, and I've talked a lot with Samurai Trainers here about this, people always give Ash Armarouge. But the way Ash battles with fast, speedy Pokemon, it makes more sense for him to have Ceruledge, even though Armarouge looks like the hero Pokemon, with Ceruledge is the rival Pokemon. But, like, Ash doesn't, like... Armarouge is like a blasting cannon guy. Like, Ceruledge is a quick blade fighter, and I think that fits Ash better than the blast cannon guy. Does Green eat Pokemon to survive in the wild despite having normal food available? No. Ash has MC Luck of Time. Yep. In future regions, do you want to give Ash more random Pokemon like Mantine, for example? Yes. Green sounds like she is the one to catch those 30 Tauros. She's not catching 30 Tauros, but like she would just for the hell of it. Oh yeah, when Green went to kick Gary's Ash Rash, who actually won between the two while Ash was handing him the rodent. Gary won that, though they didn't go till knockout. They got to the Pokemon a little exhausted because Green still needed their Pokemon awake and well to be able to get down the route safely. But they fought a little, but Gary was able to win that because he's smarter. Green's tenacious and very naturally talented, but like if her Pokemon aren't trained to be as good as she's naturally talented, because her Pokemon aren't naturally talented, she's just good at training them to be up to the level of how good she is. God, when I describe her, she does sound kind of Mary Sue is, but you'll see her lose. She loses a lot. It's just off camera. It's just easy to see her be better than Ash because everyone's better than Ash. He's just lucky. But Gary won that battle because also Bulbasaur and Squirtle only had like tackle. So, I recently started my own fanfic. What do you think of the team I gave Ash? Is Ash who took a mentorship under Oak? Pikachu, Porygon, Kabutops, Ninetales, I think that team looks awesome. I like the choices. Exeggutor is pretty sick. Kabutops, Porygon. I like Ninetales. Dragonair's cool. Yeah. I've been honestly trying to make my own Pokemon journey story, but I can't decide whether to be along with Ash on one of his journeys or be my own independent stories. If you're trying to write yourself in the verse, I recommend doing your own thing because you're kind of always will be under the shadow of the main character if you're always with Ash. The hard part about writing self-insert stories, in my opinion, and as someone who's never, who can't write a Pokemon, anime self-insert character, is that, when you do those Monster Journeys or something, you'll never not come off like you're writing yourself as the main character who's the most important in the world. Only because you're the main character in that story, but it's also the world Ash is in, and people like to, Ash is the main character of the story and stuff, even if I don't believe he's like the center of the universe. But like, you want to give yourself accolades. You don't want to just be like, yeah, I traveled around, defeated gyms, and I lost in the league and stuff. You want to win, you know? So it's kind of like, it's like a weird balance. I haven't found it yet, but like, it's not, doesn't mean you shouldn't write self-insert stories and stuff. It's just like, it's a hard balance to find. Why Ash Golduck still have it hand in hand? Does it still have headache? Don't understand most of that, but does it still have headaches? Yes, but only as a way to multiply its psychic power, not as the activation clause of using its psychic power now. So it's sort of like a Kaioken situation. Like when he gets, his headache hurts more, he gets stronger. But he's on a kind of a time budget there. Time crunch. Are there still more episodes that happen canonically that happened that just weren't shown in the video? Yeah, the gang's got into like some shenanigans. They're just filler. They just don't really matter. Like they're fun filler, so you can see the characters having fun. But like every episode, I usually have some plot thing happen because like I want to be able to get to other regions. You know, if I include like a filler episode, something should happen in there, character development wise or something. I just have to say that it has so much yeah. I always plan from the OG video to have Golduck have Psyduck's stupid face. Because that's how you know it's still Psyduck at its core. You know, it's not like, ooh, I'm this cool Golduck now. It's like, he's still the dork he is. Do you have any trouble making the episodes interesting or creating the interesting conflict for each episode? Something I struggle with. Yeah, 100%. Like, the way I always go about it... Don't do nicotine, kids. They're nicotine pouches. That's why I do them. It's a bad habit. I live with a blue-collar guy. That's why. The way I write my episodes and the way I come up with stuff is I know in terms of the episode what I want to happen. Usually I want to include in gym battle an episode. In basically, for some things, I'll take game references of like what I know happens, like, but also there's Pokemon catches that I'll include, like stuff for the Misty stuff. I knew at some point I wanted to reintroduce Misty to give her a more positive light, and I think I did that in this episode. You guys can tell me if I didn't make Misty as better than she was before, because we really only saw her interacting with Ash where Ash is annoying to her, because he is annoying to her, because he's purposely being annoying to her. And she's petty, and she's immature herself. But, like, you can see she's grown as a trainer. Like, has a handle on a fossil Pokemon. That's not a small feat for her. That is actually shows how skilled she is. And she was able to take down Gyarados. Like, her problem with Gyarados was she couldn't find it. It was hiding from her. So with Green and the gang's help, she was able to locate it. And then Green helped her form a strategy of, this is how you should fight Gyarados. Not a one... Because Misty has her in her head one-on-one. She was like, I gotta use Starmie against her, or Amistar, or Poliwhirl. Green says, no, show you're dominant. Put that fucker down. Show him that who's boss, you know? Does it mean it's fixed with their relationship? No. But Green was Misty was receptive to Green because Green knew what she was talking about. And so I hope to show... Misty was also horrified that Ash almost died to Gyarados. That's her Pokemon that she couldn't control. That's on her. If Ash got wasted, that's blood on her hands in her mind. And kind of on her hands. So, I hope I've shown Misty in a more positive light here. So when it comes to making conflicts in episodes, know what characters you're working with, and try to think of your every character, even your side characters. You don't have to know everything they're doing all at once, but think of your world as a living, breathing world where shit's happening independent of your main character. Like, I knew Misty needed to be introduced at some point, so I was like, this is a good point to introduce her, where I feel like we've had her away long enough that I can introduce her here and have that conflict episode. I know, like, certain point... I'll plan stuff in between points of gym battles where I'm like, I know this location, I could use... I knew, like, say the power plant, for example. Say I wanted to go there... And I also knew in this episode, I wanted to kind of resolve that Ninetales stuff. Well, I'll come up with a plot or some encounter where Ninetales and Ash have to work together in that power plant. And that's kind of, you can use locations kind of to your advantage. You know, you can use side characters to your advantage. And you can use character arcs to your advantage. So if you know how, like, if you like, you don't want Ninetales to be rowdy and not able to work with Ash until the 8th gym. So you can kind of plan out in your mind, like, okay, I want her to be able to kind of listen to Ash, or at least work with Ash by this gym. So I know what I can kind of backtrack and figure out where she's going to learn that lesson, where they're going to finally work together. Hopefully that helps. When I do the writing podcast with Samurai Trainer Z, we can go more into this, because it's a lot easier to talk about this stuff when I can bounce it off someone. Oh, I realized, Angel Paradox, you wrote, you're meant to, you're trying to reference, why does Golduck still have the hands on his heads? Because it's just it's comfortable for him. Like, that's just kind of his thing. Like, some people rest their hands in their pockets. He likes to rest it on his head. What do you think of the love interest of Ash? If I do a love interest for Ash, won't be anytime soon. Because I think romance really divides a fandom. As someone who's experienced playing, I was there during the great Naruto shipping wars. Naruto Sasuke shippers against Naruto Hinata, and Naruto Sakura shippers, and Sasuke Sakura shippers. Oh, it was a bloodbath. It was my World War II. Shipping can really divide people, especially if you're not in love with the dynamic. I personally never really thought of romance for Ash. It's why I don't like Serena that much and stuff. Doesn't mean Ash will never have romance in his life. There's one character I've thought about where I'm like, they definitely like Ash, and you'll never see romance on screen where they're like, we're a couple now, and we're shippy and stuff. But there could be shipping moments for them. I'm not going to say who it is, or if it's coming soon, or it's definitely not happening soon. Ash has no interest in girls right now. He's not focused on women. He's focused on Pokemon battling. Ash needs to mature a bit first before he's just like, oh, you're a girl. Oh, shit. You disagree with one viewpoint that all Pokemon need to have a character arc. The main 4 to 5 can have, but I feel it's cool that some Mons are just cool, strong animals. Yeah, well, it's like, here's the thing. There's a I guess let me be specific with this. Every Mon should have something to them. There's usually one Mon or 2 Mon on the team that are just solid. It doesn't mean they never encounter conflict. Like, take Cubone, for example. Cubone doesn't really need to develop. She's pretty solid as she is. She's kind of meant to be solid. It doesn't mean she won't have an episode where conflict arises that challenges her and she won't grow from it, but it's not like she has to develop into something radically different, like, and stuff. Like, Infernape has a character arc. Greninja has a character arc. But, like, actually, I'll compare it to this. Like, Hawlucha is just a solid guy on the team in XY. He doesn't have this overarching character moment. He's just solid. Greninja's the one with the character arc. But it doesn't mean you don't get episodes of conflict with Hawlucha, or episodes of Hawlucha focused around him and how you can develop him a little bit more or show off different facets of him. Not everyone on Ash's team has a character arc. Like Ninetales probably has the running character arc. Psyduck's the next runner-up. Pikachu doesn't really have a character arc. Cubone doesn't really have a character arc. Tangela, kind of. Tangela has some story behind it. We don't know why he's joined Ash, but he doesn't, like, he doesn't have this, I need to grow and change. He's always going to be that silly little guy. So it's kind of about, like, giving them something to do. Like, Totodile on Ash's team is just the one gag, and then he's nothing. He doesn't develop and change. He's just a guy. He's just there, but he's also just nothing. That's the point, sort of, like. So you gotta do something with them. They can't just be sitting there doing nothing, unless they're meant to be kind of one of those solid Mons that are kind of grounding on the team, or accentuate the team. So that's kind of what I mean by every Pokemon should have a character arc. I'm also in a different position where I have to make sure you guys like my Pokemon, so you're not just staring at the Pokemon and going, I wish one of the original Kanto Mons are here. They're way better than this guy. My goal is to make you like them better than the Kanto team. It's not going to happen, but I write with that in mind, where you guys should like my Kanto team enough that you're not thinking about the original Kanto team. Certainly there are original Kanto team members. I'm actually planning to do a video. Maybe it's a quick one. So maybe I'll get it done before this next part, where I go over, or maybe I'll wait till Ash catches a full team before I introduce it or I do the episode, but it's gonna be like a 10 Pokemon Ash, or like, here are the Pokemon Ash caught in Kanto, how I would have written them if I could use them in my series. It's not gonna be all of the Kanto Pokemon, but there's certain ones like Primeape, Haunter, Kingler, Tauros, Lapras, stuff like that. How do you handle with which details are worth sharing in the actual video versus extra details sharing here? Because basically some things are, like when I write dialogue, I'm not really thinking about the dialogue in itself. I'm sort of writing a conversation. The fossil thing could easily have been something I revealed in here in this stream, where I tell you guys fossil Pokemon are dangerous. However, Giselle is a very knowledgeable character. She's not very like, she started off very unused to the practical stuff, but the theory stuff she's an ace at. So she knows all about fossil Pokemon. So if she sees a fossil Pokemon, she's be like, you have a Fossilmon? That's amazing. Brock's also, he's a breeder. He knows about fossil Pokemon. He's also the Pewter City gym leader who's dealt with a lot of fossils. He has a fossil on him right now. That's his personal good luck charm, you know? So between the two of them, I can have them explain the concept of fossil Pokemon and how they're dangerous. So it's sort of like, if you can work it naturally in a conversation, that's great. And then there's also some things where, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I can reveal them in an episode. Like, I can reveal Gary as a Magmar, like, because Gary will use a Magmar. But it's not, like, a spoiler. It's not like, I'm not going to reveal Gary's whole team, but if you ask what fire type he has, and there's 3 fire types in the region, Flareon, Rapidash, and Magmar, there's a pretty good chance I'm giving, unless I plan to give him Flareon or Rapidash and subvert your expectations, why would I not just reveal Magmar? Who cares? Like, it's not like it's going to be important like that. So that's kind of how I go about it. If it can naturally come up in a conversation, if it can naturally come up in conversation, then you can use it. But otherwise, you kind of got to judge importance of what's a spoiler and what's just facts about the world that helps expand it in the minds of the audience. Like the Marowak fact. I can probably work that in an episode if Gary's around or something and be like, oh, you have a Marowak? Or just Green points out, like, Marowak, I heard they wear the skulls of their dead mothers, and then Giselle dispels the lore, you know? But also, like, sometimes you gotta weigh dialogue options. You gotta be like, is this actually worth talking about in the actual episode? Or am I just trying to throw fun facts in there? Does it actually grow anything, the world? Or is it just a, like, I thought of this cool, interesting lore, and I want to insert it? So you just kind of got to be judge at your own discretion. I'm pretty sure Giselle wouldn't care, but do you think Brock has tried to help Ash not train like a moron? Would Ash even listen to anyone else's advice? Hard to say. So Brock definitely hasn't helped Ash. It's been well established that Brock wishes Ash would train. Ash doesn't train at all. He has never trained a single one of his Pokemon. He's worked out a strategy like Surge where he's just like, oh, I thought of this because I have to counter this direct problem. But he's never thought, we got to grind, guys. We got to, like, up our levels here. Because all his Pokemon just naturally are strong or lucky or win, you know? He just has a naturally strong team. You know, how that fares for him at higher levels, who's to say? You know, even with the Ninetales Sabrina thing, his biggest problem is working with getting Ninetales to listen to him. It's not how strong Ninetales is, it's getting Ninetales to listen. So he doesn't really have to train for that. It's more about getting a personal bond with Ninetales more and getting on the same wavelength and level. Brock, this is actually kind of one of Brock's flaws. What Brock should be doing is he should sit Ash down and be like, look, kid, you gotta train. It's part of a trainer. But part of why Brock's not doing that is that he believes this is Ash's journey. And it's kind of like Giselle went to Brock for help. And Giselle also needs a lot of help. Like, she can't get by on luck. She's also striving to get better. So Brock's happy to offer advice to help her along on her journey. Because Giselle also does training without Brock now. She needed help on the basics, and he's able to help in other regards when she comes up to him and asks. But, like, Brock believes that Ash should go on his own journey organically. He doesn't need a babysitter. Like, he doesn't need someone to be like, no, Ash, you got to be doing it. This is the way you're supposed to doing it. He thinks Ash will learn over time. And Ash will learn over time. You know, he has got plenty of reasons to learn, you know. But, like, it's kind of one of those things like, should Brock tell Ash to train? Yes. But Ash should also be smart enough to put the context clues together. To be a trainer, you need to train your Pokemon. But he's arrogant, you know. He's gotten by with his own skills, so he doesn't really, like, think about it. Like, you know, he's not really in that mindset. He's just like, we're good. We're the best and stuff. And then usually he'll have other problems like Ninetales, like losing to Surge, where he'll go and kind of train, but he's not thinking of training like everyone else is doing, like Green's doing, like Gary's doing, like Giselle's doing. So, like, Ash will only be receptive if he willingly wants to be receptive. Thanks, Bait. I'm glad you're having a great time in the series. What's up, Axolotl guy? I lost my place again. Is Omastar a reference to Misty in the manga? A bit. Mostly I wanted to give her a cool Pokemon. I thought Omastar fits better as a water type for her than Kabutops. Let me guess you let Serena stay because she's your favorite Pokemon. Don't, fandom. How dare you? How dare you put that evil in here? What did Golduck, Golduck used Conqueror's. He just used his psychic power to stun Gyarados momentarily. He flinched him with psychic power. An overwhelming presence. Conqueror's Zaki. In my perspective, I like more experienced Ash. Yeah, I like a more experienced Ash as well. Let me tell you, I don't like writing an Ash that can't train. It raises a lot of problems for me with figuring out what to do with Ash. Ash will do that, but I'm going to write an Ash that still has flaws and emotions and can get angry and isn't just this perfect, boring, saltine cracker. You know, like XY Ash. Would Giovanni and Ash meet? Who's to say? I'm going to go, yeah, BD, I know. You're the guy I'm referencing who uses the Dragon Ball terms. That's how behind I am. I'm finally catching up to when I mentioned the weird way people say names. BD, you're the guy I'm calling out. I'm going to guess one of the new female, I think Sinnoh is Angie, one from Summer Game. Oh, maybe. Put yellow in the ATR and I'll super chat you my life savings. Alex, you have $3 to your name. You're a college student. I'm not against using yellow, though. I just have to find a way to kind of put her in the story. What do you think of the manga count Elite Four, where their villains are Team Plasma for Team Plasma? I like it. It doesn't work for my series, but I do enjoy it. Though people say Zoro instead of Zolo, and Zoro is the Japanese. Yeah, but Zolo is not the official name. Like, there's a difference between, like, you know, you're not pronouncing... It's about pronunciation, not about the English versus Japanese, kind of in a way. Well, for the manga stuff it is, but that's because I read the manga in English. You know, I'm not going to refer to the Japanese as the Japanese versions of them because I don't read the Japanese versions. Zolo versus Zoro, like, I mean, I think I've already, like, Zolo is kind of like a mistranslation thing. I mean, he's officially Zoro, Roronoa Zoro. Ash in XY was stronger, and I say he was at his peak. Nah, he's lame. I mean, Sun and Moon, Ash is objectively stronger. So is objectively Journey's Ash, as much as I hate to say it. Ash is between Green and Gary. No, he's weaker than both. We all know you're Yogg-Sothoth, so of course we'll put up with you. Oh, the dark one. Yes, I am Yogg-Sothoth. Thank you. What do you think of the idea of... you didn't write anything. Will Ash be more involved in Team Plasma than any other team? Yeah, that's not really a spoiler. That's going to be... Team Plasma is going to be the major evil team where Ash kind of has personal stakes in. If Green was able to tame her entire team, was capable enough to try and tame Gyarados, why didn't Ash ask for help with Ninetales? Because he was more focused... For one, Ash wants to do it on his own. He doesn't really, like, want... Like, if Ash is cocky and confident and he thinks he can do it on his own. He doesn't think he can get that. He thinks he can get a handle on Ninetales. So, like, one, he also, I mean, he might ask Green for help. We don't know if Green's traveling with him. But also because, like, the way Green described her methods to take care of Gyarados, it doesn't work for, that wouldn't work for Ninetales. You know? It's not about establishing dominance with Ninetales. It's about learning to coexist with Ninetales. And so Ash, on some level, knows that. Also, the entire episode, he's more focused on how, like, bad of a trainer Misty's being. You know, it's like, oh, she can't control her Gyarados. Funny. So he's not really thinking with 100% of his brain. Oh, 100%. Ash believes Golduck's a psychic type. I mean, his entire thing is being psychic. Winters and Megas from Legends EA for when you get a Kalos. Yes. Oh, Disable actually would have been smart. Does it learn Disable at this point? Yeah, Disable would have been... It might be Disable. Who knows? Will the characters actually age in your rewrite? Ash getting older showcases growth would be nuts and awesome. Yes, but not on a level of... Like, I'll confirm when... Like, if, say Ash encounters a character in Alola, he'll say, like... They'll be like, oh, we're the same age and stuff, because the ages are ambiguous, you know? Or something. Like... But, like, I'll never hard confirm. I'll never be like, Ash is 16 right here. He's gonna be like, oh, he'll be... Like, he's 10 right now. officially because anime, but he'll be like, Unova, he could be like around mid-teens-ish, like a 15, 16, but I won't be like, he's officially 16 here, you know? Because the age doesn't really matter. Like, but like, he will grow over time. Another meme with Goku saying he doesn't fight to save the day or be the hero, he just likes to fight. Absolute cinema. Yep. As a Paldea fan, I think it has too many things mixed into it and nothing is connected. Yeah, that's fitting. What tournament is Green talking about? We'll see. I love the flexible things you have for creating the story, like you just said, actual dex entries literally sometimes. Yep. Thank you, Ghoulie. Appreciate it. So like Pokemon Chronicles. Yeah. How far will Giselle stay with the group? We'll see. Could be to the end of Kanto. Could be to the end of Johto. We'll see. I feel like the Taco guy was based off of Bianca from Unova. I wasn't thinking about that, but I'll take that reference. I can't think that Battle Bond's any ability can have a Mega without Stone. Oh, I like that for you. I'm still crazy about Battle Bond, but that's cool. Why did you make Gyarados so overpowered? Because it's the Gyarados. Magmar, please give him a Mudkip. We'll see. Ciao. Oh, what's up, Megalore? I hope you like. I hope you will give Jinx justice. Come on. I might give Jinx justice. If Jinx shows up in the anime, I'm gonna do her justice. I think Jinx is fun. It'll be a hard Pokemon to like make cool. You know, like to have like Ash like fight a Jinx or something and be cool. But we'll see. If I even have it happen, we'll see. You know, that's a like Seafoam Islands or something. I don't know. I don't know where you catch Jinx in the story, or in the. Well, you only trade it in the games, so. You know, we'll see. I think ATR Ash will just have bad luck that villain team decided to do shit when he just got to the region out of all times. Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's kind of basically the plot of the anime. I gave Raichu why? Because it looks more like Pikachu? Yeah, no, that's also kind of a reason. Are you going to do more anime references? Hell yeah. Am I wrong? Because I swore Mega X was more physical focused because they used their fist in the trailer. They are more punchy, but I think Y is more aggressive. You will lose context in some of the comments. The Scarvi rewrite being done was in regards to Samurai. Oh, yeah, that. And hey, yeah, okay. Yep, PD, I'm all caught up. Well, I'm not caught up yet. Can't wait for Alola. Yeah, Alola's so much fun. I can't wait to get to it. Might try to do my own Pokemon series, and I got inspiration from yours. Hell yeah, Fire Sparks. Go for it. Okay, I'm going to lay this out there. It's something we're going to go over in our Writers podcast. Your first thing is going to be bad. But do not be discouraged. Like, you guys didn't see all the bad YouTube channels I started before now. I'm a 4-year professional editor by the time I started my series and an artist. So I had a lot of advantages. So if you create your own series and you're like, this doesn't look like Zach Toshi's or something, or like Dollywops, stick to it because you will only improve by doing. Don't give up. Unless you're also like have massive editing experience, then you're good to go. Don't forget to make Ash's hair longer and longer each season. I need the Inuyasha. Of course, he's going to be like Super Saiyan 3 by the end of it. Will Green be Kanto only or be a recurring character like Gary? She'll be recurring. Like, a lot of characters are going to be recurring. Like, not necessarily, like, more of the important ones. Like, Ash's companions come back, you know, at different times. Not to be like, I'm going to travel with you for a region, but like, Giselle could appear in Hoenn. You know? Can you describe the rough journeys of all the Palatine kids up until now? Gary's, it's been pretty, I mean, they've been pretty standard. They've just kind of gone through the gym circuit, like usual. Like Green's caught, like, hunted down for specific mons that she thinks fits her, while Gary's been more tactical, caught a variety of mons, released some others that don't, like, oh, these don't necessarily work with me, or they don't enjoy, like, my methods, so they can go back to the wild, and he, you know, make sure they get back to their homes. I ship your Green and Gary. Yeah, power to you. You know, that's a fun couple. Is there any Pokemon you absolutely wouldn't want to see on Ash's teams? Anything he's caught before. If Ash will still have Ash Chestnut, will he also have the new Mega Chestnut? He won't have Ash Chestnut, but if he does have a Mega Chestnut, if it does have Chestnut, he will have Mega Chestnut. Hello, Dollywop. I'm about to, and I got casted for 2 Do or Die, Character 3. Oh yeah, you're the 2 or Die guy. Thank you much for Vice Mountain Vic. Yeah, of course. If I had to write a self-insert story based on my own story played through the games, and it'll be unrelated to the manga. Yeah, exactly. You know, if you make it an ambiguous Pokemon world, it's a lot easier to write your own story. Like, I have personal stories I've written where I take Brendan, Gold, and Lucas, and they are the protagonists, and there is this entire thing They're over 200 pages in my Google Docs. They're never supposed to be, they're writing exercises. They're not supposed to be released to the right of day, but they allow me to experiment with the Pokemon world. A lot of inspirations I'll have there. There's one character I've actually created originally that's taken from there. It's going to be in the anime, in Hoenn. But yeah, so that's a major, so I experiment a lot with writing a more realistic Pokemon world, and I take some of those factors and introduce them into my ATR verse, though I can't do it all because a video series is a very limiting meta compared to a written story. Why did you replace Magmar with Ninetales? Because I had better story ideas for Ninetales, I mean, and I wanted to change it up. How do Ash's other Pokemon feel Ninetales? We'll find that out. I'm not going to go over that because that is something that will happen where you'll get the sense of how everyone else feels about Ninetales. I can imagine that if you count filler episodes that don't get shown here, this would have been the episode that would have stopped on the syndication. The tournament would have been seen on Kids WB. Yeah, exactly. You're allowed to break your no anime rule more than, what are the 10 mons you would for sure use? I will go over that real fast because I had ideas. Okay, Haunter is one. I would have done a Looney Tunes style Haunter. Primeape is another. I would have done like just a battle crazy Primeape that gets so wound up that he passes out because he like gets too overexerted. Snorlax I would have done. Tauros I would have done. Donphan I would have done. Glalie I would have done. Gliscor I would have done. Scraggy I would have done. Halucha I would have done. And finally I would have done Lucario. I would have used Lucario. I would have written it in a way that it's not the main character, but I would have written a pretty badass Lucario. Those are the 10. In the league, can Ash face an opponent who uses a ton of Oko moves, but not have it defeat Ash? Possibly. What do you feel about Gary becoming a researcher? It's a fun idea. I don't think they naturally developed Gary in any possible way other to get there. I think it kind of came out of nowhere where we're just like, I'm going to become a researcher. I mean, it's fun. It's a good thing for him, so he's not just constantly competing in leagues and losing to Ash or something. But, like, it's a fun thing. I think with a lot of decisions the Pokemon anime takes for trainers like Brock or Gary, they don't really naturally develop them how to get there. They just kind of, like, end up there. So I'm not against it. I think Ash needs to mature more before the romantic characters. Of course, yeah, 100%. Have you ever read any Ash romance stories where it still feels like Ash mostly? No. I'm not really interested in Ash as a character in fan fiction specifically. The only one I've read that I like Ash in is Traveler, but that's kind of not even Ash. Traveler is a great fic. Go read it if you want. Like, if you're trying to get a handle on how I think about the Pokemon world, I've taken a lot of things from Traveler that I've been inspired by, especially with how they've written the Pokemon world out to be. It's why I've written the gym leaders the way I do. Does Brock pointing out how fossil Pokemon are hard to control point to a main character getting a fossil Pokemon? Yes and no. It's more of explaining the concept behind fossil Pokemon, but doesn't mean... I'm not going to say no main character will get a fossil Pokemon, but I'm not going to confirm it. In my Ash What If, I kind of... Oh, I lost my place. In my Ash What If, I kind of enjoy... actually having the best quality of both Ash and Gary when it comes to being a trainer, battling such my Red Richie stand-in. That's great. I like that. So I have an idea for my Pokemon story. Maybe Ash was the kid hit, no kidnapped, but only because Hypno wants someone to show his magic tricks that then Ash was able to catch up. That's a cool way of introducing that. A special pearl has Ash falling for Dawn in a way that feels natural Ash's character in my own. That's great. I mean, I'm not against Ash shipping. Like, there's certain characters that, like, if I had to ship Ash with, like, I'm not against Dawn, any of the Alola girls, or Iris. I don't really care for the others, especially not Serenos. But I think you can write. I mean, like, I've definitely, like, on Pinterest saved one of those. Like, it was like, oh, that's a cute Ash Dawn shipping. All right, I'll save that. That's cute, but I don't, like, actively do it. Maybe you should make it so Cupid is wearing the skull of their ancestor and their mother. Nah, it's still their mom. It's just a natural part of their biology. When Ash catches more than 6, will one get sent to Professor Oak? Personally, I don't want that. Yeah, well, it's yes, because there's the natural 6 Pokemon limit. The L versus R thing in Japanese is a mistranslation, just the, a Zoro thing. It's weird for me as I watched the first half of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters dub, but then transition for the sub. I tend to always put in the characters' names. I mean, I'm like that too. Like, I watched Arc 5 subbed, so I refer to all the Arc 5 kids as their sub names rather than their dub names. But I watched everything else in dub, so I referred to Jaden as not Jaden and not Judai. I'll die on the hill that Ash deserved to catch the Baniri, or at least got to trade him. So Weasel, its personality is so much better on the first episode we introduced. I like that. That's fun. Ash is the character that goes in situation and thinks along the way. 100%. He does not plan. Are Nar starting to hate Mega Voltage? Nice. Not to mention it would have fit Ash better. God, I really hope you end up giving that Pokemon to him instead of Dawn. We'll see. Vash and Kenters, Steven and Hoenn, would you introduce Mega Stone evolution early? I'm still debating on that because I'm not against Mega Evolution being tied to Hoenn because I think it has better origins in Hoenn than it does in Kalos, but I'm not sure. So that's a future Dolly problem. I'm not going to make a Gen 8 or 9 series, but I might introduce their Pokemon in like Gen 6 or after Gen 6. Why haven't they made Battle Bond a gimmick yet if they're going to give it a Pokemon? Because Battle Bond's stupid. That's why they haven't done it. They regret it. They definitely regret it. Modern Pokemon games, you can alternate moves. So in your verse, is it just the Pokemon rotating moves or just the same? It's kind of the same in the original. They can just use 6 moves in battle. That's why I made the 6 move limit. I might up it to 8 in future series, but at the moment, 6 moves gives me enough creativity that I could do cool combinations of different things. But it's a low enough move amount that you guys can keep track. Because if I didn't have to think about you guys keeping track, I would use unlimited moves. If you were made to extend ATR to one fan region fan game, which I don't know any fan regions, is ATR going to end up in Kalos? Yes, I'm going to try and go all the way to Gen 6 and a little bit beyond. Will Ash have Kanto, Megas and Kanto? Nope. Jinx like Big Mom in One Piece. Oh, that'd be funny. I like that idea. Here's Team Gash for the Alola arc. Raichu, Incineroar, Hisuian Digidry, Dust Lycanroc, Mo, Melmetal, and Nagano. I like that. That's a cool team. Wow, I'm finally caught up. Don't you feel like giving Ash Mega will kind of put it in sort of a Asa spot? Not necessarily. There's ways of writing. I know how to write around that. I won't go into how I'm going to do that, but I know how to write it so a Mega doesn't feel like an Ace. This is the only region where Ash catches more than 6 Pokemon? Yeah. Then who are you picking as the Ace of Sinnoh? No aces. Why is Team Rocket such a non-factor? Also, you are so far behind. I finally got up. I mean, I'm not all the way at the bottom, but like I can't scroll down anymore. Because I hate Team Rocket. They're so annoying to use. Because in the anime, they're just randomly show up and cause conflict because the writers can't come up with ways to naturally add conflict to the story without involving Team Rocket. I mean, even in the Giselle episode in the original anime, they just show up at the end, get dunked on, and leave. Like, there's no point of them being there. And also, Ash isn't actively fighting Team Rocket. You know, there exists in the world, and they're doing stuff, but Ash isn't going out to seek Team Rocket. So, like, I use them when I need to or when I have to, but, like, Team Rocket will have more importance in Johto. But, like, in Kanto, it's more about developing Ash and his team. Can you judge my Pokemon team? Espeon, based on Let's Go version. Volcarona, Roserade, Archaladon, I mean, Gliscor, and Hisuian Zora. That's a cool team. I like it. You plan to change one or more Pokemon since the video you did? Oh, a lot of Pokemon have changed since then. A lot of Pokemon. Some teams are completely different than what I originally posted. The more this chat talks about ships, the more I worry about the battle of a more shipping versus journey shipping beginning. It won't. I'll shut that down shit real fast. I got a pretty good handle on this chat. You know. Is Ash going to travel to regions in the order he does in the anime? Yes. If Pikachu to evolve, which may... Okay, yeah, I would give him Y. I love how Green Team is just big hitters, and meanwhile Ash Team is literally just a bunch of level weirdos. Yeah, that's kind of the running... Every team Ash has a central theme around it. And it's not necessarily the Pokemon themselves, the species themselves. It's the personalities. So for Kanto, the theme is weirdos. Freaks and creeps and weirdos. Are you going to show Ash's dad? No, Ash's dad really doesn't matter. I mean, like, it has no factor on Ash's journey. And I either have to create an original character or do some fanfic shit that could turn people off to it. Be like, oh, Bruno's his dad. Oh, Giovanni's his dad. Professor Oak's his dad. Like, it's just, it would be way too dividing and way too weird. And it also has no factor in Ash's journey. I definitely think that tournaments and competitions should be used to help break through that cockiness. Maybe we can have Ash doing an early version of his out-of-the-box thinking to outsmart Gary and Green. We'll see. We'll see when this tournament comes up how Ash performs. Can't imagine Ninetales beating Articuno. Charizard versus Articuno would work because Charizard can only fly, but interfere with and block all Articuno's moves. I mean, like, it depends on how I use legendaries, for one. But also, I mean, here's the thing, Shadow. Any Pokemon Ash has can beat any opponent. It's sort of like the old Stanley quote. Who wins in a fight, Hulk or Thor? It depends on who's writing them. So if the anime wanted to, anyone could beat anyone, you know. Dolly, I think you would hate the rampant Ash Betrayed fics that appear often on fanfiction.net. I know how much you dislike character bashing. I used to love character bashing back in the day, but I grew up and actually learned how to write well and read good writing. You know, they're fun for if you really hate a character to watch them get bashed on, but really they're non-substance. No, it's complete unintentional, but you convinced me to start shipping ATR Gary and Green. That's funny. Hey, go for it, you know. They're not Ash. I don't care if you guys ship them. You guys can have as any ships you want in my verse. Doesn't mean I'm going to write them, but, you know, I mean, it means I'm expanding a fandom here. You know you have a fandom when shippers get involved. But you always remember the golden rule. Power scalers are stronger than shippers. Magmar worked too because just like Charizard, but without wings, you know, also everything Charizard can do, fight like blocking under cool wings, jumping high and overheating. I mean, Ninetales can just jump high and overheat. I mean, my Ninetales sets itself on fire. I might give Ash a seal. It's Spider, Psyduck, Baduga, and gives him more goofy personality. Go for it. That's awesome. I like weird Pokemon choices. They're fun. What's a Pelican's favorite and least favorite Pokemon types? Ash hates psychic types. He despises psychic types. They're so annoying. If Ash could destroy the ability to teleport this world, he would. Oh my god, he doesn't like teleportation so badly. Gary doesn't have a preferred type he hates because he views them all as equal. He likes dragon types more, if only because they're naturally stronger Pokemon. Green likes fighting types the best because they're the most aggressive, or fire types because they can burn stuff, or even electric types because they're destructive like that. She probably doesn't care for bug types, not because she hates them, because most are, in Kanto at least, most are naturally weaker. Or normal types more than, in that regard too. Since a lot of teams change, that means there's still a chance for Licky Licky and Sinnoh. Of course. I can't wait to see what you do to Johto, because that to me firstly felt like Johto's the worst written region in the entire anime. You know what's ironic, by the way? This is the shortest episode I've ever posted, and it's the longest stream we've gotten. I think this is the longest stream Q&A stream. Or maybe it's just longer than my usual streams. Yeah, Johto's going to be overhauled. Johto is such a badly... I mean, if you like Johto the region, that's good. I also like Johto the region. The anime is so bad. It's so bad. Like, what are you watching? Like, you like the Sunflora episode? The Ledian episode? No, you're going to reference the gym battle or something. Which 90% of the gym battles, the Kanto Pokemon win. The Johto team is useless. It's absolutely useless. Even in for Claire, Ash has to bring back 2 Kantomon to do it. For Gary, he uses 2 of his Johtomon and 90% Kantomon. You know? Oh my god, the Johto team's underdeveloped. Doesn't mean they're bad, they're just written badly. You know? Like, the only reason you could like Johto anime is nostalgia. It's just so... I was a big Whirl Islands truther. I said, when we get to the Whirl Islands, Johto gets good. I watched the Whirl Islands. It was so bad. It was so bad. The League is the only redeeming part of Johto. I like the fact you made it more believable that Gary becomes a professor. Yeah, I mean, in this verse, Gary can definitely become a professor if I decide to take him on the route. I don't know what I'm doing with Gary. I know where Green's going, and I know where Ash is going. I don't know where Gary's going, though. What mega do you hope will be in ZA? Delcatty. I want my favorite Pokemon Skitty to get a Mega. I want Mega Delcatty. It's so weird. Skitty's my favorite Pokemon of all time. I don't know why. I really loved May's Skitty as a kid, and for some reason, Skitty's just stayed in my heart to the end of time. I need to get ripped enough that it's ironic that I like Skitty that much. I've never been on Wattpad. It scares me. If the theme of Ash's team is a bunch of weirdos, is that why Green exists? Yeah, kind of. Gary has a Libra confirmed. I don't know what that means. Does this mean ATR Ash's favorite evolution? I mean, ATR Ash's favorite evolution, he doesn't even think about his... He doesn't have a favorite evolution. It's whatever Eevee... If he has an Eevee, whatever evolution he ends up with will be his favorite. What do you think a Gen 10 regional will be? The two regions I've always wanted to shout out to Samurai Trainers. I want a Canada region. I think Canada would be a fun region. Or like an Aztec South American either or region or something. Inca Empire, that kind of stuff. Don't worry, no leaks here. I don't read leaks. I don't believe in them. Sorry again, but can you repeat my question? Answer, I have to go in this few time. I don't know what you asked. If it was about am I doing Gen 8 or 9? I'm not, no, I'm not doing it. Will Kanto be the shortest region in the what if? Yeah, probably, because there's the least amount of, like, evil team interference I have to worry about. Would Ash get upset that his favorite Pokemon forgets a move he liked? Not really. Because usually if they forget a move, it's usually an upgrade for a better move. And that's even before he gets to a region where he can actually learn how to teach his Pokemon moves. Because at the moment, it's just random. I mean, the Johto theme songs are the best. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think the Hoenn theme songs are a close second, but the Johto theme song, you can't look me in the eye and say the movie version of Master Quest or the movie version of Pokemon Johto aren't bangers and defeat the rest of the themes. I'll die on this hill. Yeah, like, by the way, it's one of those things I'll put out there. If you hate on the Unova team, but you like the Johto team, you're objectively wrong. And I don't usually say you're objectively wrong often, but the Unova team is way better than the Johto team. You might not like Unova Ash or how, like, the Unova region story goes. That's fine. Unova team has way more personality and development than the Johto mons. I watched Wheezy, and I realized that Heracross never appeared in the gym battle. No, he did not. He did not. He appeared in one Scizor battle, and then he appeared in the league. I want to Mega Heat Morph Legendary. That's cool. Wally, stop fighting Boone. My little dog, Wally. You can see his tail wagging there and stuff. He's trying to play with Boone, and so they're just, like, growling at each other, and they're like, ah, doing that stuff. Like, stuff that dogs do that to dog owners look vicious, but it's just like, I'm like, stop it. I'm like, stop it. Like, for some reason, they left my Boone. He went underneath my leg and turned my chair around. Okay. Okay, if you're not into leaks, we won't tell you. We basically know from the Terra leak, which is, you know, confirmed thanks to all the megas that have been revealed. Yeah, you know, we'll see. Also, it's Gen with a G, just so you know. I did my teams with the ATR rules for Ash. Clefairy, Almastar, Dodrio, Flareon, Victory Belt, and Surprise, a Persian. I like that. There is a part of me I almost regret. Here's the thing. I don't think my series would do well if I replaced Pikachu. But there is the part of me that kind of wishes I gave Ash a different starting Pokemon. I don't know what it would be. I don't know if it would be Clefairy or something, or what Pokemon it would be, you know, he'd start with. But there is the part of me that kind of regrets that I kept Raichu. Or Pikachu, I mean. I've been thinking about the ZA Megas too much. I really love Raichu. Why? Is there any, is there any Pokemon Ash would say no to if they asked to join his team? Not really. He's down for everything. You could even keep the catches in Unova. You just need some evolutions there. Yeah, exactly. Unova's biggest problem is evolutions, really. More than anything. Like, there's no part of me that ever believed Ash was going to win the Unova League and stuff. It's why I don't really hold it against him. It's like when people say he lost to Cameron. Cameron only used 5 Pokemon. The dude had a fucking Hydreigon, Samurott, Lucario. Like, Ash was using Oshawott and Snivy. Like, what? Were you surprised? Were you like, oh, I can't believe Ash got dog-walked there? Though also, there was the question of, like, who wins in a fight, Unova Ash or Johto Ash? And people always say that, and they only talk about the Kanto mods Ash has. They never talk, but then they also be like, well, Unova Ash isn't allowed to use Charizard even though it traveled with his team. I think even Crocodile from Unova slams Johto Charizard easy. Maybe not easy, it will be a tough fight, but I think he still wins. You know? Yeah, I mean, I don't really think about Heracross. Heracross is kind of a nothing burger to me. I assume that this tournament Green spoke of will include most side character show where everyone's at. Maybe. Maybe. I'm not going to throw you. There's 2 filler characters in there, and they're my buddies, Samurai and Rose. They're in my world, and they're going to be used as continuous filler trainers for when I need, like, extra bodies on the field. And also my friends, Xanolith, Aleximo, and Ionic Bond. Also, go check out all their channels. But they're all gonna be filler trainers when I need them. And it's kind of funny, the idea of my buddies going around and competing in tournaments at Ashes and just continually getting their asses handed to them, because the whole point is they lose. You know, they're not there to win. They'll never win a battle against Ash or any any like significant character, because they're just there to be fodder trainers. Would Silver be Ash's rival in Silver? If Ash college team to get rest or go to high dynamic with them could be interesting, similar to Paul but different. Maybe, probably not. If only because Silver's not like Ash needs rivals for the leagues. Silver's not trying to compete in the leagues. He's just trying to take down Team Rocket. If you read my Pokemon contest idol, an example would be Dawn face her mom Joanna in a contest setting, which she would use normal types is just an idea. You do you. Oh, that's cool. I like that. Today it was low-key underrated Unova. I think Pignite should evolve into Emboar. Or at least, like, have, like, either have, like, Samurott, Emboar, and Servine, or Superior, Pignite, and Dewott or Oshawott, something along those lines. If you go through my, if I go through with myself and honestly, the character from the school episode, aka that kid from the EV episode, is similar to what I want to emulate, but that's only because they're on my mind. That's a cool way of going about it. I like using side characters, or like characters of the day, as seen with Giselle. One major point that the gang absolutely need to get stronger instead of sending his Pokemon to Professor Oak is when the events of Spell in the Unknown, and that time everyone went to Goldenrod City. Basically, like Ash only used Kantomon against Claire. Yeah, exactly. Could you make background characters of ARCs? Like the same guy, but with their Pokemon evolvers. I mean, characters are going to grow and their Pokemon are going to evolve because they train. Like, they're normal trainers. So, of course, everyone's going to have evolved Pokemon by, like, a league setting. They might have, like, a second stage, but, like, it's weird to be in the league where you're facing the best of the best and have unevolved, like, first stage Pokemon. There might be some exceptions to that rule, obviously, but, like, it's weird for a guy to be going into a league with, like, a Jigglypuff or something. That's, like, a weird thing that most people don't do, because evolution in my verse is growth and maturity. It's like puberty. You know, it's a stage of life that you're supposed to go to. You know, it's not something, it's not like a choice of, like, I prefer being a Psyduck instead of a Golduck. I need you to use Undertale references sometime. I'll have a Sans Undertale reference sometime. I like Sans. I don't like Undertale, but I like Sans. And Papyrus. I like Sans and Papyrus. What have the Team Rocket admins and Nexus been up to at this point? Roughly, of course. They've been trying to seed the Team Rocket Empire, commit crimes, and generally do all... Like, one of them was at the... I think it was Petrol. I think he's a Sky guy. I think Petrol or Proton. One of them was at the base in Celadon that Agatha raided. So they're doing evil Team Rocket stuff. If Ash were to take one Pokemon from Gary Green, who would he choose? Electabuzz from Green, because he's seen it in action and thinks it's cool. Gary, he would take Wartortle, because he only really seen Wartortle and Abra, so he doesn't know the rest of Gary's Pokemon, and he hates teleportation. Thanks to you, I got back to old Rear I was working on. I redid it, got rid of Ash, and new MC is Mankey, Dragonite, Sandslash, Parasect, Kingler, Ninetales, and Rhydon. That's awesome. I'm glad I can inspire writing. Are we going to get an episode without Ash entirely, minus the ranch idea you had? I don't think you'll get... Like, I think the closest thing you'll get to an episode without Ash would be all the way in Sinnoh, because I want to do Paul Perspectives episodes. I really want to focus on his arc as well and how it parallels Ash. So that's the closest you're going to get. The closest you're going to get to episodes without Ash completely, you're never not going to have Ash in some form. You're always going to see what he's up to, even if it's just the Ninetales gag when I did the Brock part of the episode, last episode. But you're always going to see a glimpse of Ash, even if he's not the focus. Can you do a community post providing a link to all your friends that you mentioned? Yes, I will 100% do that after this stream. Go check them out. You know, they're great people. They make great content. So, so Ash team so far: Pikachu, Tangela, Golduck, Cubone, and Ninetales. Yep, that's the team so far. Speaking of Samurott, why is it animated so awkwardly every single time it appears in the anime? I actually was I don't like Samurott that much because I can't, like, I generally don't like Pokemon where I can't imagine how they fight, and it's, like, I couldn't really imagine how Samurott fights. I actually think it's done pretty well in the anime. I like how it moves. I saw an episode, I got shown how Samurott in the anime moves, and I understand how it can fight now. So I actually like Samurott now. I'm not sure. I got to take another look at it because I just basically watched a quick short, and I was like, oh, okay, now I can understand how it fights. And how it can move in a world. So, you know, I'll have to give it a look back when I rewatch Unova to see, like, because I gotta rewatch Unova. I also gotta rewatch XY to give it a fair shot, to be like, do I really still hate this? Guesses are I will still hate it. But I'll give a look back to see if it's still awkward. If you had to stop the original Ash anime series in an early region, which one would it be? Like, here's the thing. It would be Alola. I think the people who vie for Sinnoh to be Ash's end point, if you keep the canon, Ash ends the series a loser, you know? And if you want to write him winning, you kind of got to rewrite all of Sinnoh to build up to that. You can't just have the current Sinnoh story and have Ash end there. I think with Alola as well, you got to do some rewriting for it to be the end point. And you got to do a bit more with it, you know? So Alola, I mean, and Alola where it is, I think you could kind of naturally end it, but like but if you want to do Sinnoh, you gotta rewrite it. Same with like XY or Unova. If you wanted to end there, you gotta rewrite them. Do you think it'd be cool if they made a Kanto game with all the new evolutions for Kanto Pokemon like Annihilate or Kingdra? I think that'd be awesome. I'd love that. If Golduck were to learn Teleport, how would he react? He'd be like, oh man, you could teleport? That would be so annoying for other people. Actually, I thought Golduck did learn Teleport. I was going to have an episode where I was in the original planned Aerodactyl episode, like the fossil episode in the anime, that was where Golduck was going to evolve. And it was going to learn Teleport and, like, you know, get above Aerodactyl and throw it into the earth and stuff, and that's how it was going to do it. Golduck doesn't learn Teleport, though, which is crazy to me. It feels like the one of all the random Kanto Pokemon to learn Teleport, Golduck doesn't learn Teleport? Malarkey. Well, in fairness, with the Molly Hale losses in the Spell of the Unknown, her Pokemon were not Pokemon. They were overpowered crystal constructs, and the world conformed around her to make her win. Yeah, and Whitney, though. Whitney, the fact that Pikachu is the one to take out Miltank is absurd to me. Let a Johto Pokemon do something, please. Has Paul already started a journey? Yes. He is currently, let's say he's in Johto or Hoenn right now. Who knows? Maybe he's in Kanto, and we just will never see him. I've been trying to write a self-insert OU, self-insert story, and for story reasons, the character works with an evil team. How do you write a convincing character portrayal without pissing the majority of people off? That's a hard one. So, in some ways, you kind of got to seed it in. Like a complete heel, like if you do a complete heel face turn where it comes out of nowhere, it's still going to give people whiplash. And then you got to work a lot harder in the back half to make up for that, to explain why they betrayed them, how they betrayed them, and how they've been against them the entire time. You just got to kind of see, if you want to kind of hint at it beforehand, you got to establish moments where the people kind of look at the guy and be like a little uneasy or something, be like, oh, that was weird and stuff. Or maybe they go off on their own a lot and stuff, and you're just like, oh, you know, whatever. They like to do their own thing. I don't know, like something along those lines. It's hard to come up with stuff on the spot. So now for a couple minutes, so I'm going to ask a question I already asked. Are Sorrel and Very going to make an appearance or part of your story? I don't know. Are those the I Choose You kids? I don't know. Sorrel is... Oh, they are the I Choose You kids. No, I don't like I Choose You. I think it's a bad movie. So I don't care about those guys. If you'd use a fan-made Mega Evolution for Ash, what Pokemon would it be? A lot of fan-made Megas look really cool. I don't know if I would use any fan-made Megas. I don't really know too much. Like, I mean, like, if only because I think a lot of Megas until the... Like, I think a lot of people over-design Megas when... And it gave me whiplash when I saw the new Megas, when I realized I look back on a lot. Other than, like, Charizard, a lot of Megas are only, like, aren't too different than their original counterparts. They're just a little bit more, and I think people like to drastically change Pokemon with Megas. So I don't think, I mean, I think they look cool. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know if any fan ones off the top of my head where I'd be like, you know, that. Why does Wattpad scare me? I have no clue. I just said that would be funny. I just never been on Wattpad. I think you need to like have an account for that. I've just never been about that. If you use Orto, if you know who Orto is in Pokemon Horizons, as I call him Alt, because I'm not using Orto because it sounds dumb. Do you think it will get along with Green? Yeah, they get along like a house on fire. Samurai, you pictured fighting like a Jedi. I like that. Would it feel wrong to write an Ash fic, but use the manga game version of Misty more than her anime counterpart? Obviously, it wouldn't be wrong at all, but still, no. I mean, like, you know, I don't think it's wrong to use anything. You just got to think about their dynamic and how it would be different. Honestly, I understand why you hate Pokemon XY, but I adore its animation. The battles are so well made. Oh, of course. I'll never say the XY is badly animated. Or at least the battles aren't badly animated. Everything else outside of the battles can look a little bit off. But no, the battles. I think maybe they use the 3D camera a little too much. Like, sometimes I can go a battle without being spun 360 degrees every 5 seconds. In fairness, a lot of my... African? I just read that name. Okay, that's funny. I like that. African. XY fans do feel a lot of my hate. I really despise XY fans. They're so annoying. XY fans will attack every other fan of every other region and then be like, why are you guys attacking us? Like, am I a Sonic fan? No. I mean, I'm fine with Sonic. I'm just not a Sonic fan. If Ash could hack any move onto his Pikachu, what would it be? A Hyper Beam. Because it's so cool and destructive. You got Anima, and that's supposed to be because a lot of them based off Pokemon fan ranges I see, and I make team baits off what I could use in battle, and I have like, that's awesome. If you did a game only Masters 8 with all the champions except the products, who would be in it? Okay, so 8 people. Lance, Steven and Wallace, Cynthia, Iris from Black 2, White 2, Diantha, Kukui, and Leon. What's up, Gut Metal Gator? If you in the future make Ash grown up, what he has kids so marry. I mean, like, if I'll tell you guys at the end of the series who Ash's romantic main pairing is. I'll tell you that. Who I personally dollywop Ash is gonna end up with canonically in my verse. It doesn't mean I'll show it, but I'll tell you. Yeah, Whitney's Miltank would have actually been a great opportunity for Heracross. Given his female, Cubone evolves in a Marowak, has around a Lola. Ash has a Lola Marowak. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I do like that. I'm not going to say if I'm going to do it or not, but that's actually a funny idea. A whole personalized team and law that connects 12 different fan regions I found in compilation stuff I currently head writing it. It kind of would tell you my team, but it's a bunch of random bonds I like from fan regions. As I said, you won't actually know what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, I don't know a lot of fan regions. Will Ho and Ash actually have a rival? Yes, I have one planned for him. Is there something that Ash is scared about for literally no reason? I could say the easy thing and say ghosts, like a Naruto reference where, because you can't punch a ghost. Ash doesn't really have a lot of fears. And in a weird way, it's because he's kind of too dumb. Like he's kind of too stupid to be scared of anything because he doesn't understand anything about danger. What's my favorite shipping? In Pokemon? I don't think I'm going to make it canon in my verse. I've always liked the idea of Morty and Whitney. I think that's a cute pairing. Specifically the Heart Gold Soul Silver version design ones, not the Johto region ones. Yeah, I think that's a cute chip. Any character from an anime and canon anime from other regions, what would they be doing right now during ATR Kanto? Paul's currently started his region. He's watched Reggie lose against Brandon, and him and Turtwig, I think they're around Johto or Hoenn right now is when they're starting their journey. You did say XY did give Ash a fake past or Mercer in the past 1 year illustrations. Yeah, so remember in the episode, I think it's after Wolfric, where it flashes back and Ash is out and a bunch of Pokemon surround him and cuddle with him, and then it happens when he's in the snow with a bunch of other things. Kanto Ash would never. You kidding me? That's N. That's not Ash. What is this bullshit? Like when Serena and Ash were in camp and Ash helps Serena like that, and he's so nice and kind, and she falls in love with him in that moment. Who the fuck is that kid? That's not Kanto Ash. Like, come the fuck on. Please have Wally and Hoenn. Also, you can work as a Sinnoh team. Have his team new. I've debated Wally or not. We'll see. What's the highest reading level book Ash could read? I mean, whatever is Ash can read, like, he's not reading advanced physics or anything, but he could read at like an average reading level. Anyone his age, like, he's dumb, but he's not like illiterate. Yeah, Quiznos, that is a big distinction. There are XY fans, and then there are XY fans. If you were caught up to Horizons, do you think Tobias would make sense as a member of team? Makes sense a member because of spoiler? No, Tobias doesn't really have much going for him. He's just kind of a one-off. With Golduck evolved, will the funny shrimp team get another graduate soon for Ash's team? I don't know what that means, Gunmetal Gator. I feel like Ash's fear would be loneliness. Possibly. I don't know. Ash is pretty comfortable with himself, though. Like, Ash's biggest flaw is also his biggest strength. His cockiness and his, like, assurance in himself is, like, so great. Like, dude is brimming with confidence. To the point to his own detriment. You know? So, like, the dude thinks he's the shit, and that's great. Sometimes, like, advice... Like, I know I have a lot of younger fans. Or friends. And a life lesson to you guys. It's better to be a bit cocky and overconfident as long as you have a little bit of humility to you. As long as you're not like a psychopath. But like putting on and like faking it till you make it. You know, like being comfortable with yourself and being like a little confident. Like I don't make self-deprecating jokes anymore. I just make vastly overconfident jokes. Like when I make a joke of my mom and she goes, you're funny and stuff. And I just go, I'm hilarious. Obviously I'm saying in jest, but I'm doing a very overconfident joke. Because the more you joke about something, the more you subconsciously believe it. The people who make self-deprecating humor a lot, slowly they start to believe it in their own heads. Even if they're just joking to get a laugh, they'll put themselves down in their mind, not realizing it. That's why I make overconfident jokes. Like, I'll go and say, I'm the shit. I'm the best that ever was. And I feel, you know, because it fills me with confidence. Even though I know I'm not, you know. But it's all how you phrase it, too. If you act like, I'm the best. Like, what are you talking about? People will be like, oh, you're a sociopath. But if you say, I'm the best, you know, like, I'm the greatest there ever was. People are like, ha, he's funny. If Ash does develop a fear, by the way, it'll be later on as he has more life experience. He hasn't had like enough life experience to have like a true fear. This has been great, guys, by the way. I want you guys to know this has been great questions. Because I feel like you guys have asked a lot of fantastic questions that, like, here's the thing. Usually in a lot of these streams, y'all know it. You ask a lot of spoilery questions. Like, what will happen next? Will Ash catch this? Will Ash catch that? And no matter how many times I say, I'm not spoiling anything, you still ask. You guys have been on point with the questions this stream. Of just, like, non-spoilery questions that like expand the world rather than spoil the future. He probably sees a Pidgey and a Gyarados at the same lens. 100%. Like, Ash won't fear a Pidgey, but he'll be cautious of a Gyarados and stuff. Like, but like, it's not that he views them in the same lens. It's like he has common enough sense to know that's like in the Snorlax episode. He was like, oh, we can't handle this. Let's get the fuck out. I don't want to deal with this. But Beedrill's resolve and Brock wanting to help people convinced him to stay and have to deal with the problem. If he didn't have to deal with the giant-ass Gyarados, he would be out of there. He's not, like, scared of it. He's intelligent enough to realize, I am batting above my swinging average. Currently, I have 3 starters from 3 different regions. 1 is fully evolved Pokemon that I own in 3 states, but when it comes to the other 2, I want to... I can't say which one, so 1 or 2. I have no idea. It's basically... we agree that your Ash have more Pokemon in his team than brain cells right now. 100%. They do say ignorance is bliss. You got it, Quiznos. Are you okay with doing ship teasing between certain characters? Feels like a good compromise, not go all the way. Oh, 100%. Like, I'll ship tease with the girl that Ash is going to end up with, but I'm not going to have them be, like, get together and stuff. There will be ship teasing, though. And there will be a difference between a ship tease and a comical crush or something. Like, if a girl has a comical crush on Ash, clearly it's for laughs, but it's not ship teasing. So you can say Kanto Ash is going to catch between 8 to 10 Pokemon. That's around, if we include species or not, individuals the same amount as he caught. Yeah, exactly. I want to show off the mechanic of catching more Pokemon since I'm Professor Oak, so Ash is going to catch more like he did in Kanto. But every other region is going to be a team of 6 only. Or I guess 5 additional catches because he's going to have Pikachu. I don't really have any Pokemon ships, but I do have a, what is referred to a crack ship. A ship that's, yeah, I know what a crack ship is. Don't worry, I've been around. Angwazula and Atlas ship. That's funny. I need to watch more Pokemon. Sorry, my comment cut off. I meant Tobias, the team member of Explorers, due to having all the legendaries. Maybe. I don't think Tobias works too well. You got to develop a lot more. Would you do a mystery dungeon AU for your dollars? Possibly. It'd be fun. Your dog is annoying. Shut the hell up, Razor. Hey. Watch your fucking mouth. Ooh, wait. Do I have demon mouth? Wait, hold on. Hold on. I can hear my brother laughing at me from here.
Hey, watch your tone around my dog.
I don't know if the monster voice came in, but I got a soundboard. I can change my voice. Honestly, the advice about confidence and self-deprecation here, thank you for it, because I needed to hear it. No, 100%. I'm always here to give life advice. You know what? You come for the Pokemon fix, stay for the life lessons. I'm 27. I've been around the block. Only I can hate on my dog, who can call him annoying. No, I'm just messing with you, Brazor. Dang, that is great life advice for anyone. Wow, I'm like, now I'm so caught up that there's I meant the delay of stream. I don't want this to be a spoiler, but have you considered having more than 6 Pokemon per region like Kanto? I have. Look, Kanto's gonna have more than 6. I've considered the others, but I really want to focus on the team dynamic, and I really want to. The more Pokemon you have, the less time you have to give to certain Pokemon, and the more you have to switch around. So I really want to give you I really want to give you the time to bond with these Pokemon and really expand upon their personalities and character arcs, whether they be a over the region character arc or just kind of a small character arc. Have I been watching Horizons or no? Not really. I kind of passively have kept up with some things, but I'm not a Horizons fan. I don't really care for the series. I like Ult, though. Ult's my favorite character. I definitely think that his Pokemon absolutely need to train in harsher environments for the Pokemon Ash to get stronger together. Yeah, 100%. Oh, meant more ships in general than Ash ships specifically? Not too many. I don't have too many ships. Ash catching 30 tours feels like a canon event to me. The more I see some people complain about that, the more I want to double it to 60. I like your style, Inferno style. When someone says no, we're gonna double down on it, actually. Fuck you. You should have a Snickers to feel better. I don't like Snickers. I'm a hater. And I'm always gonna be a hater. No matter if I'm hungry or not. I just thought about it, but I think Porygon replacing Pichu as a starter and its evolutions can be used to grow with the final evolution related to Team Plasma and being emotional. That'd be a fun way. Porygon would actually have been a fun starter. What non-dog Pokemon do you think would behave like a dog? Let's go to the national dex on PokemonDatabase.com. Vulpix. It's not a dog, it's a fox. I would ask for some more writing tips for my series. I told you so. It's more of a comedy, and the Pokemon can talk, and it's not the kids. So, I'll probably do some more writing tips when I do the writing podcast. Would you ever do a ZA gameplay live stream? Possibly. I don't really have the equipment for it. It's more of a joke, the Family Guy bit, but I do want to get some more personality form. Pokemon giving me something that fits in Pokemon, but also be funny in a Family Guy episode. That's awesome. Oh, would be introducing the ATR as a green Terran brother. That's funny. I like that. That's actually really funny. Deli has most hot takes I have seen. Fun fact, I used to not have a lot of hot takes, and then I joined a server full of creators, and then I suddenly developed opinions on Pokemon. I saw that Gunmetal Gator. Don't think you guys can delete messages and I'm not going to see them. Did you watch K-pop Demon Hunters? Yep, it's great. And I love all the music and I've been listening to it nonstop. Would you ever consider getting a Poketuber to guest voice a character in the series? Possibly. I don't know. I like doing all the voice acting myself because it's more of a narration than anything. And voice directing is hard. And I tried to do animations with voice directing and I'm just not good at it. So I think it feels like it would like mess up the flow of my series. When is the writing podcast? Possibly next week, possibly the week after. It's whenever Samurai has a day off on a Saturday, we're gonna do it. So tune into Saturday live streams. You know, I'll be consistently doing them every Saturday now, unless I'm literally out of my house Saturdays, but usually I'm not. Yeah, no. That's gonna be a great session because me and Samurai, we talk nothing but writing with each other. We're constantly talking about writing, so we're gonna kind of organize it a bit better. We're gonna answer questions. I'll probably make a community post when I have an official date of you guys can submit questions in there and topics we can go over. But we also have a bunch we already know of that we can go over. A suggestion question for a fic I'm writing. Ash goes to Paldea after Sinnoh. How should I frame learning things like letting some catches go if they are not battle without making them Paul? Well, it's more about Ash having the maturity of realizing that the Pokemon doesn't like to fight and doesn't fit with him well. And there's no shame in... Like, Paul released Pokemon that weren't strong. And he was just like, I caught 3 Starly, analyze which one has the best stats, release the other 2. Ash learning that a Pokemon doesn't really vibe with him and doesn't really like to fight, it's not a bad thing to release a Pokemon. Like... Even the way Paul does it isn't that bad. Like, at least he doesn't, like, he didn't release a Azumarill into a volcano. He gave it to another trainer. Like, a little kid who would actually appreciate the Pokemon. Even the Pokemon he catches and releases, it's for, like, 5 seconds, and then they're back off in nature. So it's not like he bonded with them. Like, just have Ash kind of have that realization of, like, you're not vibing with this, that's fine. Like, I'd rather you be happy in your home in the wild than miserable with me. Or even you could be like, you might not like battling and hanging out, but you still like hanging with me. You can hang around a bit. I'll send you Professor Oak and you can meet all my other Pokemon, something like that. Pokemon movies, Yeri Neri. Yeah, there will be Pokemon movies. There won't be all of them because some of them just don't. I'll use the legendaries in the actual story and not like a movie scenario, but Mewtwo and Pokemon 2000 are definitely happening in Kanto and Orange Islands. Since Pokemon ZA has a Mega Evolution Pokedex, I definitely think you should have it in your rewrite. Oh yeah, 100%. I like Pokemon movies. I like them all the way up to Gen 5. Well, maybe not some of the Gen 4 movies, but I like most of the Pokemon movies before that. When I was younger, I thought Alola took place after Kanto. No, every Pokemon fan has some gaps in their knowledge that they thought mistake as a child. For instance, in the Jirachi movie, when they summon the giant Groudon monster thing, and Butler, the main villain, goes, "That's not Groudon," I looked at that and was like, oh, it's Kyogre. And I thought Groudon was called Kyogre for a good chunk of my childhood. Because I didn't understand that he meant to say, that's a monster. It's not the actual Groudon. I thought he meant, that's not Groudon, it's Kyogre. Can you help with TV shows that exist in lore? Oh, there are TV shows. We will get into those. Jodo actually will reveal some TV shows that are a thing. Which character do you think would listen to K-pop and ATR? Ash Ketchum. Ash Ketchum listens to K-pop. My Ash definitely listens to K-pop. He doesn't tell people, but he listens to K-pop. He is dancing to soda pop like nobody's business. He's doing the shoulder thing. Assuming Ash did retire after OS, which game protagonist would you think would do the League Challenge? I mean, I would just do Ethan, and then I would do Brendan, and then I would do Lucas, and then I would, I would do Hilda or Hilbert. Not sure which one I would want to do. And then, yeah. And then I do Callum, because I can't use Serena. Which Pokemon would you give the Huntrix girls? Ooh, maybe I saw art of this already. I probably give, Maybe I would give Rumi a Mischievous, because I think Mismagius looks very sinister, and you could do something with Demon Marks and, you know, Mischievous, which is a ghost, but it's cute, evolving to the kind of more wicked-looking Mismagius, and that could be a thing. Zoe feels like she would have, like, Plusle and Minun or something, or a Dedenne, and then I would give, like, what would I give? I would give Mira, I think I'd give her, like, Milotic or, like, Arbok. Milotic probably because she's a K-pop star, but a snake Pokemon feels like it fits. If or how do you explain animals just kind of existing in the Pokemon? There's no animals. Like, I mean, they basically, when they say mouse, they mean that as a subset of a Pokemon they've based off. Like, we saw Pikachu, and it's sort of like how, like, a Lupin is a wolf. Mouse is, like, the Latin name for Pikachu in that kind of regard, or, like, a species of, like, the phenotype or the body, like, the creature type, like that. Same reason you have dog Pokemon, you know, even though, yeah, like that. So what personality do you think would work? I needed something for a story. Give me a bit hard to explain advice when you don't even know what's a Pokemon question. I got no clue. That's a writing podcast question. Better option to trade with companion instead. Also, you can do that. Are you thinking of playing any other games this fall? I mean, I've currently been playing Silksong. I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel a lot and then get mad. And I play a lot of Binding of Isaac. But no new games I've been thinking of. But Paul, there's one situation I kind of agree with him, and that's Azumarill, where Ash calls him out, and he did the same thing with Beedrill. I think the difference is Ash caught Beedrill in a competition. I mean, like, I don't think Paul's wrong, per se. Like, I'd rather Paul get rid of Pokemon he doesn't vibe with or he doesn't like to use than him just keep them and just hate them, you know? Like, I don't understand why people want him to, like, hate, like, to keep Pokemon he doesn't like or doesn't vibe with. Because, I mean, here's the thing. All of Paul's Pokemon vibe with him. Chimchar did not vibe with him, which is why he released him, you know? But the rest of Paul's Pokemon are down with the training and down with his methods. So, I mean, like, Ash caught a Beedrill in a competition, gave it to Casey because she liked it, fit her thing. But it's not like he bonded with Beedrill or anything. Like, we don't know how long Paul had a Azumarill, but, like, he clearly had it and used it in battle at least. So I can understand why Ash got mad at Paul, you know? Am I going to do other videos like upload scenes for Johto? Possibly in the future. I'm really trying to, you know, bank out these ATR episodes. If I do one of those, it will be after I complete Kanto, maybe Orange Islands, and give myself a little bit of the break before I start Johto and plan some of that stuff out. Does Sabrina know how ATR ends? She kind of does. She can see the branching web of timelines. So she'll manipulate things to kind of go towards a future she thinks is the most desirable, but she sees the web of time. So she does know how it ends, but she also knows the various ways it could end. Wait, will Tracy be a companion or will he just be acknowledged? Who knows? We'll see. Please not do the Latios movie as such as the point he didn't catch Latios at the end of the 12-episode series. Please make it main floor and have him catch it. I'm not having him catch Latios. Or Latias. Let me tell you something. All you people, I'm going to look in camera at this. All you people that want Ash to catch Latias, I know what you're about. I know what you're about, you little secret Pokemon shipping weirdos. I know what you're about. I'm not about it. We're not doing this Pokemon movie, you know, Heroes, Latias X Ash shit in this series. I know what you're about. Don't act like you're wrong. They're like, oh, Latias would fit so well with Ash. Why? Is it because you saw the movie and you ship them? Or you know, like, Latias doesn't look like a good Ash Pokemon. It's just a Pokemon that gets around Ash a lot. Like, let's be real. There are plenty of legendaries that fit Ash. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, look, if you want Ash to have Latias, you're weird. I know why you want Ash with Latias. A question of Ash will get an Applin of a triple. I might do, after I complete ATR, I might do sort of like, if Ash goes to other regions, what Pokemon he catch. He might not catch full teams, but I'd do them. Since you're doing this here for Hisui, are you going to make references to the regions like Hisui or talk about them? 100%. What do you think Game Break would do for Gen 10? I hope it's a Canada or like an Incan Empire or Aztec Empire kind of style region. Or like South America or something. Who would win Squid Game if ATR chain characters played it? Gary. How is Green's Primeape calmer than Green? Like, Primeape is so angry it'll die. How did Green even tame that thing? Because Primeape is a fighting type at his core, and he learned a sense of discipline, or at least Ivysaur helped him install a sense of discipline, and Green is feral. Because not all Pokemon are just their personality, or are just their species. Some have deeper personalities than that. Ashes of the Past Ash. I've never read Ashes of the Past Ash. I've briefly delved into Challenger Ash, but he has a Charizard, so I don't like it. What if Charizard gets a Mega Z and a Mega A in Legend ZA? Will I burn down the world? Then Dolly calls upon his dark powers to destroy the world, because I'll never let that happen, Firespark. Are you still making other kind of videos while ATR series? Only in between ATR videos. And if, you know, and if only just because this is such a... It's my most successful series, and it's a series everyone subscribes to me for, and also it's the most time intensive. So I mostly focus on ATR. What Pokemon would be 7 deadly sins in your opinion? Yeah, that's a lot. I can't think of that right now. Based on our, I think Shiny Hisuian Zoroark for Rumi, Morpeko for yeah, okay, that's the art I saw, Quiznos. Yeah, and I like that. Hisuian, I was in the vein of Hisuian Zoroark. Sabrina C. canon anime universe. She doesn't, only because the canon already diverged with the inclusion of Green and how Gary and Ash's relationship has changed. If Green wasn't there, she could see canon possibilities, but there's no possibility of the canon with the way I've changed stuff. Would Green tickle her Pokemon? Maybe. I don't know. Kind of weird. So his... Wally. So Sabrina is like Madame Web or Doctor Strange? Kind of. Bonded with 2 Pokemon, just so you're the only one thinking it's creep. No, I know what you Latios fans with Ash are about. Don't try. I've been around the block. I know what you weirdos are about. Speaking of Latios, are there actual people marrying Pokemon ATR? No. No. We just have a Nuzlocke on the channel. 100%. I mean, after I get Kanto done, Saturday streams, I'm going to be playing through Fire Red Leaf Green with the ATR team. But I definitely would be down to doing a Nuzlocke for a stream. Pokemon who want Ash and Latios to people who can Ash so you can't ship them with Latios. That's a crazy take. I wouldn't go that far. I just think they're Pokemon shippers. And I shame them for it. This is Wally, by the way. He likes love. I would give Ash one of the legendary dogs if I had to give him a legendary. Oh, that's fun. I personally don't like giving Ash legendaries, but that's just because I imagine legendaries. It's a scaling thing. Do you think trade evols are underused in the anime? I personally don't like trade evolutions as a way to evolve Pokemon. And mostly because, like, they don't make sense in a sense of a world where it's like, why can Machoke only become a Machamp if it's traded with a special machine when you see wild Machamps in the wild or Golems in the wild? Like, is every Golem or Machamp you see just a trade evolution that got released? Like, so every Pokemon that can be trade evolved can just normally evolve. Also, I don't understand why we want to have Ash catch Latios at the end of that, like, the very bad finale of Journeys. Why? We're not going to see anything of it. It's not like he's going to go on and use it more. It's just he catches it and it's, all right, the series is over, guys. Like, you know, there's nothing you can do with it. If Serena's manipulating the universe to desire, are we ever going to see the other universes? Is the ATR the outcome of Serena manipulating the universe? Kind of. Like, Sabrina doesn't manipulate the universe. She more guides certain angle, like, you know, like directing Ash to do different things or be like kind of help him along in a weird way is kind of manipulation, but it's more of like a nudge, you know? I meant Traveler Ash. Oh, Traveler Ash stomps. Traveler Ash, 100%. Traveler Ash wins 10 toes down. That guy's OP. Can I rank every ATR episode? And what are my ATR episodes? I have so many notifications. Holy shit. Okay, I think the number 1 is Beedrill episode, which is, that's 7-6, episode 5. Then it's Ninetales episode. Then it's Psyduck episode when he catches Psyduck. Then it's catches Jigglypuff, question mark. Then Golduck, then Beedrill, and then Ash catches Beedrill, and then the episode 1. I like to think Green won because she either tried Sabrina mentality or did something stupid effective or went aggressive in a way. She just knows how to counter psychics. Like, you know, that's kind of like, I mean, like, Ash doesn't know how to beat a psychic like that, you know? She's able to outspeed him with Arcanine and then, like, use Electabuzz Flash to blind them and, like, stun them. Prediction, Ash with Darmanitan that used to be ends. Ooh, maybe. Does that mean you release Beedrill after the 4th gym in the playthrough? Possibly, actually. By the way, Wally's not named after Wally the game character. I just named him Wally independently. Just came back from selling your air fryer. Oh, man, no air fryer. I actually want Latios to survive because sacrifice makes no sense. Yeah, I'm going to rewrite the movie. Or just naturally implement the movie into the world. Anyways, I have a question I'm sure you've answered already, but this comes to Ash not getting any of his old Pokemon. Does that change if the Pokemon evolves? I consider that, but no. I think it just raises too many questions of... It kind of opens the floodgates of, oh, can Ash get this Pokemon, Ash get this Pokemon? I was like, even... Because if I did it, it would be a one-off. You know, it wouldn't be like a golden rule across the board. And it's easier just to say Ash can't get anything he's ever caught before and their evolution lines. Plus, it's a fun challenge to make me use different Pokemon and write them better. Would Shaman fit Ash and Sinnoh? I mean, possibly. I mean, if you write it a certain way, I'm not going to do it, but you could. Like, you can still catch an IV, but then it evolves or just catch the evolutionist. Yeah, no. Serena's Gurren Lagann. Or is Green... Are you trying to say Green Lantern or Gurren Lagann? I don't know. What do you think about the retcon of Ash Greninja and Journeys and the Mega? I like Mega Greninja. It's probably my least favorite of the 3, but that's just because we've seen kind of it already in Ash Greninja. And I like that they retcon Battle Bond because I hate Battle Bond. What is my favorite thumbnail? Oh, it's the Ninetales one. The Ninetales one's the coolest. Actually, the new Golduck one's my second favorite. Do you ever plan to use a gym with rematch team in games? One of the coolest game features, sadly, except XY, where every gym leader is OP compared to the games. Possibly. I don't know. You plan to have Ash catch Farfetch? We'll see. An idea that Pokemon Ash catching 10% Zygarde is constantly after why they merge with the rest of the team, making 100% a small part of still remembers him. That's interesting. Wallet, you're pressing on my stomach. Continuing on rematch team would be cool, like Ash went to him, like Surge with all the badges, a little smug, and they are like, let me show you levels of this. That'd be interesting. Anyways, I think with this, we're going to end off stream. We've been going for 2 hours plus, and I have to feed my dog. So this has been a fun stream. I'll be back next week for another Saturday stream. I'm going to get to work on those episodes. Thank you all for watching and all your continued support, and I'll talk to you guys later.